Well, you all know the secret to a happy marriage, and that is sleeping together. And it is sleeping together on a Helix mattress. We've been doing it for years. That's why we're so in love.
Yeah. Helix is the greatest mattress of all time. And every night that Nelly and I sleep on a Helix mattress together, our connection is stronger because we get great sleep and we wake up refreshed in love. It's amazing. And you should be sleeping on a Helix mattress as well. If you're not, I don't know what you're doing. If you ever listen to the show, if you ever taken any advice from me, listen to that. And that is to sleep on a Helix mattress. The prices are unbelievable. They have a mattress for all kinds of sleepers. Doesn't matter how you sleep, hot, cold, on your side, on your back, curled up into a little ball. Whatever your sleeping preferences are, Helix has a mattress that's perfect for you. They have a lineup of 20 unique mattresses for all kinds of sleepers. It's recommended by doctors of sleep medicine and leading chiropractors and me and Natalie and my parents and anyone who's ever stayed at our house because they all are sleeping on a Helix mattress and they wake up refreshed and asking about a Helix mattress. It's truly the most comfortable mattress you could ever get. The prices are unbeatable. They're amazing.
You also get a 120-night sleep trial and a limited lifetime warranty, so there's a lot less pressure when making the investment. Go to helixsleep.com/VIALL for the Best of Web Memorial Day sale, 27% off site-wide, exclusive for listeners of the Viall Files. That's helixsleep.com/VIALL for 27% off site-wide. Make sure to enter our show name at checkout so they know we sent you, helixsleep.com/VIALL.
You're crazy.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Viall Files Reality Recap Edition. I'm your host, Nick, joined by my wife. She's back, day 2 of feeling not bad.
Not bad.
Woohoo!
Not bad. We
Woo!
also have Ciara Robinson is back joining the household today.
Yay.
Justin, sweet boy Justin, is also with us. Mary, are you online? Are you here? Can you?
Ugh, don't let her. Don't.
Schmeagle? There she is.
Oh, no, it's bad.
That's crazy.
Mary's lost her voice.
Love you. Feel better.
Oh my God.
She's trying.
Anyways, Mary's down bad. She's staying at home. She is apparently capable of working, so she is listening, taking notes, but she can't speak. But she is with us both in spirit and she's here, kind of. We have a jam-packed episode, lots to talk about. That was some of the best reality TV I watched last night with the finale of Summer House and the premiere of In the City. I'm super into In the City. I think it's so much better than The Valley. I don't know. Maybe, okay, they have a bit of a cheat, I think, obviously, with all of the scamanda and the interest behind it. I think, as someone who's always loved the vibe, I love a New York City-centered show. And I feel like In the City is really giving us like the chance, like a reality Sex in the City type of vibe where we, I love the relationships that we get to unpack. I love I think Justin, you're talking about the Summer House is more like singles and dating. In the City is like obviously Valley based, but I don't know, there's something about the hustle and bustle of New York. Also, I feel like with Summer House, you know how they like list the jobs, like West journalist, and you got Kyle like CEO, and even Amanda creative director. Like and I think for the most part they're like Ciara nurse, like these real jobs. And I feel like in the Valley they don't I don't know what any of them do. I know Jesse and Michelle do real estate. I know that.
I was going to say the exact same thing.
You were?
Yeah, no, I'm just like, the thing with the Valley is that it's like, you're kind of like watching people like bebop around where it's like they kind of have no purpose, where that was kind of my issue watching this season, where I'm like, why are Schwartz and Michelle getting together in a salt room to talk about a trip to San Diego? This just doesn't happen. Where I'm like, New York, it's like, oh, they're at a bar and they're all talking about his like past dating life and like, oh, he brought this girl over from New York, and it was just like, they're all involved, but they all like are like hardworking people that are like, all right, we're out, we're getting the full debrief.
You know what I thought was an amazing scene on In the City? The grocery store scene between Amanda and Lindsay, because it's like that was like a real life moment. It seemed like they were literally grocery shopping. Everyone else, every other one of these shows, it's always like they're on the couch at home or they're like at a bar having a drink. Like they're not like doing things. There was something about them grocery shopping together and like a different type of scene that made it feel more like almost like a scripted show in a way that
Or it's like let's go on a hike. And then they stop as soon as and they're like, let's sit down on this bench. Like, let's finish our conversation and then we'll just go home.
I don't know. I really loved that. I thought it was great. I was so fucking locked in.
No, that's a good point. When she was like, I need some fruit. And I was like, oh, I need some fruit too.
Like,
I was like, you're right.
It kind of feels like they fit the filming schedule into their actual lives versus their actual lives being fit into a film
I noticed
schedule.
this too because recently with Salt Lake City, a lot of people have been posting like the girls just like waiting in a lobby before the cameras start with like lights set up. And it's like, it breaks the mysticism, but also it looks like they're waiting for the scene.
Yeah.
Versus this looks like the camera showed up for the already pre-existing event.
All right, Lindsay and Amanda have 20 minutes. I guess we're doing this at the
Let's
local
show up here.
bodega. Let's go.
Yeah.
Also, just like shout out to Amanda and Kyle. And I say that because like these people really like that, you know, talking about 10 years and everything they've gone through and the conversation they had where they separated, like, I don't know. Maybe that's the first time they had the conversation. Maybe it's like their on-camera conversation. But these are two people who clearly have committed their lives to this show and this audience in a way that is authentic, that you just don't see that I think with other really heartfelt deep conversations. And I just don't like, these people aren't actors, like, and I think the way that they have shown up for our entertainment is
I feel like I was gonna say when they had released the statement and she comes over to the house and he's like, oh, you still have your key, and then he's like, you look really skinny, are you eating, you know, like that. And that whole conversation, that whole scene, it felt very like I shouldn't be listening to this, you know, like this is like a private conversation and I feel like I should leave the room, but also I'm so locked in on like hearing everything that the two of you have to say.
Because we usually see them at the house up in the Hamptons and now we're in their apartment. I know they've shown like a few times scenes like that, but this felt like, it really felt like a BTS in a way that was I was locked in. And
hearing Kyle be like, watching Summer House back, it really seems like you had this emotional affair with him. And her reaction to that, it was wild. What do you think, Ciara?
I agree. Like, I was like, it was interesting to watch because obviously, like, I have my own little, like, critical, like, where I'm like, breaking up or, like, confessing the truth to people where I'm like, I think being able to say, like, when she was having that conversation with Kyle, it just kind of felt like she couldn't say the actual truth, but at the same time, everything she was saying was truthful at the same time. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Like, two things can be true at the same time where I'm like, you're admitting a lot, but at the same time, I do believe that you wanted things to work out. I do believe that you're sad that this marriage ended the way that it did, but I'm also like, I don't know. Some of it was just like tough to watch. So to your point, I do feel like I was like a part of a conversation.
Well, we will certainly break down the dirty details of the episodes, of both episodes, Summer House, In the City. We'll also get into the Valley. There's so much to unpack. We also have the new trailer for the reunion. One of the most intense trailers. I mean, I felt like
it was theater. It was Broadway. It was
cinematic art.
Yeah.
Lots to get into. But before we do, we also have DeMari from Perfect Match and great conversation with him. He is caught up in a love affair with Marissa, who, if you remember, was on Love is Blind. And, you know, I wonder, Marissa, love her. You know what? It's a dating show. She's like attached to DeMari, and then she's like making out with some other guy at the mixer. I'm trying to figure out Marissa. Anyway, I think so is DeMari. We have a conversation with him to understand. Great guy. I really enjoyed my time with him, and he really seems like I really became more of a fan of him having had a chance to talk with him, and I'm excited for you guys to hear that interview. Before we get to the Perfect Match conversation and DeMari, did you guys sent me, was it you, Justin, about which Mormon wives have unfollowed or which ones followed Jordan and Dakota, which I would mostly roll my eyes at this type of
reporting
in the weeds reporting. But when it comes to this particular group of people and women, they clearly use the follow and unfollow to communicate to each other and their audience. I would usually roll my eyes at this type of stuff, but I do feel like this kind of like it's hard not to analyze why some of these women have unfollowed and some of them haven't unfollowed.
So who is following?
Well, I was gonna say Nick rolls his eyes. I'm over here like, oh my god, the amount of like energy. I applauded the amount of energy it needs for people to like every day, every second, like check who's like following who. It's just too many people to track. Anyways, so who's still following Dakota and Jordan are Jen Affleck, Michaela, and Miranda.
Interesting. Didn't see that coming.
It appears Macy recently unfollowed them.
I just saw Jesse and Macy doing a like my ride or die reel together, and they were. I felt like Macy, and Michaela, obviously last season, were a really tight triangle.
Justin and I saw Jesse, Macy, Layla, and Miranda at the Get Out Hulu event, and they all seemed together and cohesive. There wasn't tension. They were, they all seem aligned, so to speak. It didn't seem like they were like, it wasn't like a Jesse, like certainly, and Miranda and Layla doesn't follow them, but Miranda does.
It would appear. I'm like, Michaela, I guess I kind of understand in the sense of feuding with Taylor, that I guess maybe she has some sort of different siding. Because I just remember her and Jace saying the whole stuff with like, there's more to the story or whatever when the whole Taylor story broke. But I'm just kind of like.
But we've also heard Michaela say time and time again, I'm team the kids. And if you're team the kids, then why not unfollow both of them?
Right. I mean, you're definitely choosing a side.
Yeah, whatever's going on between you and Taylor Frankie Paul, if you're Michaela, like, to me, there's not a question of whether like Dakota's problematic and if he's done things to harm his family. And
Right.
obviously there's a lot of thoughts and feelings about Taylor Frankie Paul, whether she is a victim of his actions and this is a negative response, as terrible as it's been at times, or is she more of the, everyone can debate that, but I just don't feel like amongst these women, like, I am surprised that they wouldn't want to distance themselves to Dakota. And the fact that some of them still follow Dakota and Jordan,
They
to me, is
also
very deliberate, since they're like, there's a lot of people I follow that I don't fuck with because I don't use the unfollow.
Miranda doesn't follow them anymore, so I don't know if that was.
Oh, so that means I think that she saw the post and someone's like, "Yo," and she.
it's kind of like
The reminder.
It's kind of like when all the news broke about James Kennedy and Allie Luber, and Nick and I got messages being like, "Hey, why are you still following James?" And we were like, "Oh God, yeah, why are we?" Like, forgot all about that. Oops. Like, he hasn't posted in a couple weeks, so haven't seen him on my For You page. So sometimes it
looks like-
takes someone like
So
pointing-
Miranda has since unfollowed. So
Michaela also doesn't follow them anymore.
Okay, so
Michaela.
So I'm going through this, like, and I'm checking.
So nobody follows
so no one.
them anymore.
Well, it looks like they might have like since saw them.
What about Jen Affleck?
That's what I'm checking right now.
Yeah, she's on a whole different show now, so.
I'm still not convinced she's on Orange County.
I am. She bought a house in Newport. She's been living here since Dancing with the Stars.
I was told by a very involved person with that show that Zach, and I quote, Zach fucked that up for her. And
Well,
she
they're-
wasn't like,
aren't
and
they
the only, I don't think they're separated. And the only thing, I don't think anything official, maybe I'm wrong, but the only thing that's come out is from Jen Affleck, not anything from the show. And why
Jen
No,
is it
does-
Hulu has commented on Jen's posts being like, "Woohoo, love you, girl," or something like that.
Jen does still follow both of them.
Okay.
That's weird.
Maybe she just doesn't care. Maybe she's unplugged. I don't know.
Can I just have like one like random gripe about the OC spinoff?
Please.
If only one of the women are Mormon, like why couldn't we still have this franchise but just be like Secret Lives of Influencer Wives or Secret Lives of like why did we have to
Yeah.
keep the Mormon of it all if it's not going to be focused around the fact that they do this mom talk plus being Mormon?
That is true. It could be like Secret Lives could be the thing that
Secret
the
Lives
franchise.
of OC Wives.
I will
Exactly.
say there are a couple people that are Mormon or ex-Mormon on the cast, which is the same
But-
as this current cast, where some of them weren't currently practicing Mormon.
but also
so like it is technically.
majority of them aren't wives.
So-
Like a lot of them aren't even
I mean,
married.
well,
Well, they're not.
No, I know, but like Real Housewives of whatever, like a lot of them are.
Yeah, the definition is like evolving.
Right, but it's like even then Real Housewives of like when we're changing the city, but I'm like Secret Lives of whatever. But I'm just like I just don't think we need to keep the Mormon of it all if that's not really the central focus.
Do we technically know the official title is Secret Lives of Mormon Wives?
Orange
Because
County?
they've just been calling it OC.
You can't just call it OC.
The streets have been saying OC.
Yeah.
Just OC, like
I don't.
Marissa and Ryan, Summer and Seth.
No, you're right. It's Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, Orange County.
Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, Orange County.
Which
So
is
I'm
the
just-
longest title to ever live. So I do feel like it needs to be shortened.
SLMWOC.
Slim up.
It's the
I
mom.
hate it. Too much.
Sorry, it's
long.
just something that bothers me where I'm just like, I feel like that franchise, we would totally get that they're connected. It just, the name if that's not the central focus, I'm fine with watching a bunch of influencer podcasters, public figures being out and about and what their lives are like. But like the Mormonism of it all just like doesn't need to be there where it makes sense in Utah.
I'm excited regardless.
I agree.
I hear it's going to be a great show.
I'll watch it. I said that about In the City. I was like, yeah, I'm not watching that. And I'm like, hooked.
In the City is amazing. Ciara, what is catching your attention on Perfect Match?
I think, yeah, it's interesting. I'm still getting sucked in, you know, Jimmy P being the man about town. I'm like, it's just a very different version
Jimmy.
of Love is Blind that I'm used to. Seeing Allie as a main character versus James's girlfriend has been very interesting to see.
It's also like Allie bringing the Love Island. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like her flirting and being
she's so
goofy.
cutesy and just like, but like all over the place. And like, I love how much they're just kind of like drinking and having fun on this show, though. I'm like, they're literally just like, oh, I don't know. I'm watching them talk. Allie is so cute. I'm sorry.
Her vocal stem of "Hi, Jimmy."
Her going to like spy and then being like, that was a terrible idea.
And then
That was a
waving at
terrible
Jimmy.
idea.
Oh my God, the spying.
So yeah, Allie and Jimmy are what's catching my eye. But it's weird recognizing people from other shows and seeing like how they unfold in this light. Does that
Marissa to me is like a different version of Marissa.
Yeah, because she was so kind of like the straight character in her couple, and it
From
was
the military, knows what she wants.
Yeah, and then this one is just like, I'm jealous
Bubbly.
and I don't know why.
Yeah.
So
Well, she claims to know what she wants, and that was DeMari, and then she went to this mixer.
And fully just played Truth or Dare once and was dared to make out with Weston. She was like, all right, guess I got to do it. It's Truth or Dare.
And then she comes back. She's like, I got to be honest with you. This happened. Now we're just going to both forget it ever. Like she completely.
She's like, you can't be mad.
So-
We're not going to talk
It's like she
about it.
processed it for him.
Yeah.
I have a question for the group. If you're locking down first episode or early in the experiment, are you treating this as a game rather treating it as finding your perfect match? And I'm referencing Marissa and DeMari, where it's like from day one, they're like, okay, cool, we're together.
Yeah.
But then like now that they're kind of exploring other matches, they're like, well, we'll just ignore that, but like let's stay together, which to me gives I'm plotting to win.
Right.
Marissa wasn't giving plotting to win for a TV show. And then maybe it's just like good performing on her part, but I don't think that's it. It was giving, I'm obsessed with this man.
Maybe just as soon as she walked in, she was like, yep, no, yeah, DeMari's the only one for me.
Yeah.
You know, and she just was like, all right, if I'm gonna like be here, this is my only person I'm
that is
to.
a real thing, because like when you are going on a love competition show with the expectation to like pair up with someone, like I know like it's always hot people, but like everyone has preferences and everyone has types, and like you're just not into most people. And yeah, there's
and usually the second someone opens their mouth, you're like, yep, never mind. you were hotter
so,
before.
Yeah, you have like one, you're definitely like into maybe one person.
And
so
you have to sleep next to them. Like you have to share a room with these people. You have to sleep in the same bed as these people.
So you get comfortable with them, I guess. But also like we voted Chris out because like we thought he was the one that was like treating this as a game. I think Jimmy literally told us it's a game. I'm here to win.
I was like, even Allie was like, when Jimmy was talking to somebody else and she was like, shit, I'm going home. So I'm like, I think it's very apparent that there is an element of this that like, I might not find my husband here. But what is the prize?
A trip.
Is there
it's a trip with that person.
But do you remember last season? Last season we were rooting for a different couple, and then just the random last minute couple got it.
Yeah, the people that got paired up at the last minute.
Yeah.
So, I don't really understand the appeal, I guess, unless it's just TV time.
I just feel like it's not a show where you could be like, you're not here for the right reasons.
Yeah.
It just doesn't apply to like the format.
That's why
Absolutely
I feel like when people, like I felt like this was the first season that people weren't really getting that mad that the other person was making out at the mixer or doing whatever, because it's like, honestly, like it wasn't that serious.
So many of these shows, Perfect Match, Bachelor in Paradise, in the recent season have clearly tried to take from Love Island and what has worked for them, right? But I think the thing that they seem to be missing the most is the soundtrack. I think that's what makes Love Island so visceral and so like, I don't know what it is. Last summer, like so many reasons why I can't wait for Love Island, but the soundtrack, like I would I would listen to that shit all the fucking time. There's some good jams on there. They're finding new tunes, and there's like, and then when you're listening to it, it connects you with what you watched, and it's like the music that like some of the, it's royalty free, it's generic, and it is just not the same as like a hidden gem. Like
it's like, remember when I think it was Love Is Blind? I think it was Jimmy P. But when they used Man Child.
No, it wasn't Jimmy P.
It wasn't.
Oh my God, what was it? It was the most recent season. Who was it? It was the guy he left the fitting.
The one with the Nomad, the Nomad.
Who said the Pilates thing?
What's Joe? It was Joe.
I don't remember.
Joe was the one that walked away with the Man Child.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, Love Is Blind sometimes
but like
do that. But
I remember they used that Man Child, Sabrina Carpenter, on like his exit. It was like the last 5 seconds of the show, and everyone was like, Netflix spent their bag to get that song, and it was so worth it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what this shit cost, and like I don't know what Love Island is paying to do this, but I really think that is because like why when you watch when you're watching Perfect Match versus Love Island, really what is the fucking difference? Like why are the competitions on Love Island so like fun and so like you're so like locked in, and I really think it's like the music that heightens it up. There is something about that, these songs that we connect with, or even if you haven't heard them, there's a difference between like great music that's produced by like
it's like when
very
you have
talented people versus like royalty free.
Yeah, when you see someone's Instagram ad on Instagram and it's like a reel, and you can obviously they had to use royalty free music because the brand wasn't going to pay, and it like just doesn't hit the same.
It doesn't hit. And I'm just curious when you're producing these shows. Obviously, budgets are involved, but like I really think that's part of the secret sauce of Love Island.
It is, but by the way, I went back and tried to watch. There's one specific scene of when Kaylor and
I knew you were gonna bring this up
because I that scene specifically to me always just like hit me so hard. I remember recording it on my phone, and then I went back to watch it on Peacock, and I was like, "What is this music?" I was like, "This is not what I remember." Like, so I think they pay for like a certain period. And then even the main song, if you go back and watch like the main theme song, I don't think it's the same for like season 6 or whatever it was.
I also wonder because it's streamed on Peacock and it's Warner or Universal, NBC Universal and Universal Music Group, that I'm like, I wonder if they get those songs
like for a specific time and then they have to change it. But yeah, I mean, it makes the difference because you watch it and you're like, wow, this emotional like song just like hits.
Yeah. Because like I just always wonder why sometimes it doesn't hit quite the same.
No, you're so right.
Anyway, we got a great conversation with DeMari coming up next, and you will definitely enjoy this conversation. He gets into all the things that are going on with him in the Perfect Match house with Marissa, and then he had his ex-girlfriend show up, and that was a wild conversation. He answers all our questions, and then coming out of that conversation, we are going to get into all things Summer House in the city, the Valley. So much to break down. It was just wild television. So many Easter eggs to discuss, and we will do it coming out of DeMari. Well, before we get to DeMari, don't forget to sign up for Viall Files Plus, where all of Viall Files episodes are ad-free. Also, you get your reality recap deep dives, where you dive deep into all your favorite reality TV topics, or Pop Extra Roundup, where we talk about our favorite pop culture topics going on in the zeitgeist of pop culture, and your update specials, all your favorite updates from your Ask Nick episodes. So be sure to check that out. Just go to viallfiles.com to subscribe. You'll be glad that you did. Let's get to DeMari. All right, you guys know I've always despised going to the gym. I find it to be such a waste of time. And as if you're like me and your life is just getting busier and busier, but you want to stay in shape, you need to check out Tonal Gym. I got one for my parents up at the lake. They're absolutely obsessed with it. What I love about Tonal, it is literally everyone I know who has one has said the same thing. It does everything. I don't care who you are, how old, how young you are, what your experiences with working out. Maybe you're getting back into the gym. Maybe you are a extreme bodybuilder. Tonal has you covered. They have amazing workouts. It's so smart, once you start, it gives you a quick assessment. Tonal sets the right weight for every movement and adjust as you get stronger. Also, another thing when it comes to working out, you do a lot of the same things over and over, and then you don't get stronger, right? So you'll lift the same weights and you'll do the same reps. But Tonal recognizes every exercise you do and will also increase weight as you go. So you're making advances as you work out. It's truly one of a kind, and it doesn't matter, again, what you're into. If you're into HIIT classes, bar classes, yoga classes, if you want more mobility, more stretching, strength training, Tonal has it all. Also, it's a very sleek design. It looks great in any home gym. What I like it again is it helps me stay doing new things, right? I've always used to be doing the same workouts, and I was as I get older, I'm getting less range of motion. It's helping me Again, age more gracefully, to be honest. Right now, Tonal is offering our listeners $200 off your Tonal purchase with promo code VIALL. That is Tonal.com. And use promo code VIALL for $200 off your purchase. That's Tonal.com. Promo code VIALL for $200 off. Well, anytime I'm up at the lake, I'm always trying to be cozy, comfortable, and wear quality clothes. And Mack Weldon is a big part of my lake closet lineup. Pretty much I have Mack Weldon wherever I go because Mack Weldon makes classic pieces that are easy to wear and easy to style. Nothing flashy, just clean, sharp basics that work for real life. The materials are insanely comfortable, but still structured enough that you actually feel dressed. One of my favorites are their stretch twill, chino, and button-ups that are perfect for balance. It's a really great casual outfit that's dressed up a little bit. Anytime you go to like, all the parents out there, all those award ceremonies at the school, perfect Mack Weldon stuff. I know some of the dads out there aren't not trying to get flashy, but you can still look nice and comfortable in Mack Weldon. It's the kind of clothing that works whether you're running errands, traveling, grabbing dinner, or just hanging out. You don't really have to think about it. You just have to wear it and feel great about it. That's probably one of my favorite things about Mack Weldon. You put it on and immediately you feel more together without sacrificing comfort. So get the men in your life some Mack Weldon. Their pieces are amazing, comfortable, and they look great and form-fitting. Go get moving with Mack Weldon, comfortable anywhere. Go to MackWeldon.com and get 20% off your first order of $125 or more with promo code VIALL. That is Mack Weldon, MackWeldon.com, code VIALL.
We have this beautiful, really cute, quaint, screened-in porch sunroom vibe at the lake, and I've been trying to figure out how I can furnish it and decorate it because it's kind of an awkward small space, and I was like trying to find all these pieces and it was too much, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go to Wayfair because I know I can find the exact piece that I'm looking for in the exact dimensions, and you know what? I did. I found a beautiful couch, matching coffee table, and now that is my favorite place to sit at the lake. Whether your style is modern, coastal farmhouse, or more minimal, Wayfair has options depending on the vibe that you want. I also like how easy the site is to navigate. I searched small spaces furniture, and there it was right there. Very easy. The filters, reviews, and photos make it easier to find pieces that actually fit your space and your budget. You can get outdoor seating, patio lighting, grills, rugs, decor, pretty much everything for your space in one place. And once your space starts feeling more put together, you naturally spend more time enjoying the outdoors. And we definitely have. I find myself drinking coffee out there, reading out there, me and River play out there. It's just such a good like sunset, sunrise hangout place. So get prepped for patio season for way less. Head to wayfair.com right now to shop all things home. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
DeMari, welcome to the show.
What's up, guys?
I just want to tell everyone who's listening, he's as good looking in person.
Oh my God.
You're a very handsome man.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, man. I appreciate
Very
it.
tall.
6'5".
6'5". Made my husband look very short.
I'm 6'2".
Yeah, no.
I think sometimes on screen I don't look as tall as I am.
You did not
No
look
one does.
6'5". on
No
No
screen.
one does.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing about reality TV in general is that they cast tall men. Like in reality TV world, 6'2" is mid. It's average.
Jimmy was Jimmy Presnell. He was like, bro, I'm like 6 foot.
He
Like,
definitely did look very
he looks
small
small
next to all of
compared in
y'all.
stature and size, like
Yeah.
everything. He looks small because like
I mean,
you got Jimmy Sotos, who's a 6'4" basketball player, Ohio State. Me, Yeaman, also jacked. Even Chris is kind of jacked too.
yeah, he's not a small guy.
The only thing Chris used to do in the morning, first of all, he'd be shaving all morning because he gets like chased.
He's got that 5 o'clock shadow on his chest.
he's a hairy dude, so he'd be shaving all morning, and then he would be doing like these like banded biceps.
Oh my God. What's
Somebody told you about that?
No, we
We
watched
watched
it on
it.
the
Oh my
show.
God,
it's
no.
happening.
Yeah.
It's like
They did a whole montage of
Yeah.
of-
he kept leaving like one of the mixers or whatever to like go and do a couple more curls in the room. I mean, crazy.
I say this with love about Chris because I
Crazy.
don't know if Chris was on our show Age of Attraction, so we got to know Chris well.
That's my guy. I like Chris.
He's a fun guy.
He does his, and I say this with love.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of Chris's quirks comes from a place of insecurity.
As a lot of ours.
Hey,
Is a lot. Thank you.
yeah.
Is a
Me
lot of
too.
ours.
Me too,
Same.
girl.
But he does it in a way that's so silly
It's
and
he's really
so
funny.
goofy. But you're just like, well, maybe you are toxic, you know?
But it's like a.
He's like, hee hee ha ha.
It's
Here's
like-
a purse. Marry
It's
me.
like the,
Right.
the flag is
Whoa.
red, but you're like, this is so cute. Like I like
Fluorescent
the red
red
flag.
sometimes.
Yeah, it's a cute. It's a good shade.
I guess if you like fluorescent stuff, but yeah, for sure.
Well, you came into Perfect Match and you were a hot commodity. You were definitely like a lot of the women had their eyes on you.
Mhm, mhm.
And you locked in with Marissa
Right.
very
Well,
quickly.
or you could say Marissa locked in with you.
Well, she did whisper to you, if you don't choose me, I'll fucking kill you.
Okay, we got it. All
Yeah,
right,
we got
it.
Cool, cool,
He's
cool.
like, oh God, you heard. Okay.
He was like, I thought I was going to die. So,
Now, before we say anything else, we love Marissa.
Yeah.
We've had the pleasure of interviewing her. We have met Marissa in person. She is a lovely
Such a good
person. We
person.
also love her mom for standing up for her on Love Is Blind. Her mom, I believe, if my memory serves, is has served for our country.
She has.
yes.
Both of them have.
Yes,
she has
both
as well.
of them.
as
yeah.
Marissa, so there is a certain level of grit
Yeah.
behind there, and I don't think we quite saw that because on Love Is Blind we saw Marissa. I forgot what his name was, but we all hated him.
Ramses.
Ramses, yeah, the guy
Ramses.
who like weirdly was pressuring her. That's
Yep.
right. He was pressuring her. And so then we see
Craziness.
Marissa with a completely different man.
Mm-hmm.
This kind of you bring in a great energy as well. You're
Thank
you're a giant man, but also a soft soul. And I've known you for 30 seconds. It was interesting to see Marissa. As I described to Allison when we had a pleasure of interviewing her, that she was bringing "Don't ever leave me because I'll find you" energy from Wedding Crashers. How was it in the house with Marissa? Yeah, how did your relationship start? And it did seem to kind of get a little argumentative and toxic fairly quickly, and you seemed a little uncomfortable with that.
Yeah. I've been through these things before, man. I don't really I'm not a toxic guy. I am a person that if I have an issue, I can talk it out. I was very attracted to Marissa at first. When I first came in there, she was probably her and Allison, because Allison came in with Marissa, I believe. They were both very attractive to me. So I was like, okay, all right, well, I can see what's up with either one of them. And then me and Marissa just clicked naturally, even like right at the beginning with the little mixer where everybody was kissing each other. It's a lot of kissing everybody in this show, man.
A lot of
I felt
swap
kind
and
of
spit.
disgusting. I'm not gonna
A lot
lie.
of swap and
But
spit.
but anyway, I'll stop being a germaphobe for a second so I can get back to the story.
It is different though. You have to make out with a lot of people at once. It really takes the love out of it.
10 people
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Damn.
in it had to be 20 minutes. 10 people. Oh my God. I was drinking mouthwash the whole time.
No, because by the 10th person, you're getting that after kiss taste.
Ooh.
Yeah, especially if somebody
yeah.
else isn't doing their part of
Yeah.
the mouthwash or mints or
yeah.
gum or something.
We got it. Yeah, you're all professionals. You got to lock it.
Wine breath.
Ooh.
Yuck.
Mm-hmm.
You think white wine's worse than red?
In my experience.
The sadness you just had saying that.
I see you reminiscing over there.
Yeah.
Something's
Well,
playing
well,
in your head.
well. I learned this lesson in my first time on TV. Don't drink red wine because I did a confessional
Your
and I was
teeth?
like, Nick, I had rotten teeth. It was
Mm.
all stained red. I never thought about it. Anyway,
Yeah.
I digress.
Yeah.
It's gross either way. So you were making out with everyone.
Yeah, making out with everyone. That was fun, but it wasn't at the same time. But anyway, me and Marissa, we did have a really good connection. I felt like we were clicking really fast, and maybe that's why it got so a little argumentative and toxic. And we would talk through it. Obviously, it would be stuff where it's off camera and stuff, and then we would be back good. And then the next time another challenge hits something or somebody else comes in, it's boom, right back to it. And I don't have an issue with really being an insecure person. I'm very solid in myself, especially to the surface. You're not gonna be able to really find that out until you get to know more things. I think that sometimes the threat of the looming possibility of somebody else coming in, interrupting or taking me from the situation, or even just going on a date, sometimes would be a little hard.
And what was cool about, I guess, watching you and Marissa is because I think a lot of people watching it could relate to their own relationships
Mhm.
because sometimes those arguments with couples, it comes from a place of insecurity. You can feel it and you want to calm your partner down, but at the same time you want someone to kind of meet you at your level.
Yeah.
And trying to find that balance must be very difficult when, even though it might feel like you've known each other forever, you don't
really
in
know
this
each other,
environment. So how did
Yeah.
you juggle both feeling this connection with Marissa versus maybe some of these little red flags that kept popping up?
Well, let me ask you, how did it look like I juggled it?
Pretty well.
Pretty well?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. It didn't feel like I did. It felt like sometimes I was a little bit too far in the path of like, yo, we can just fix this, instead of it being like, I'm actually trying to cater to the situation or like what you're feeling in the moment. And I think sometimes that's more important.
Yeah.
And that's something that I learned about myself, is just being a man. I'm like, I'm solution based first. Like, we can just, I'm not leaving. Like, it's cool. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to go have a conversation, or this person wants to take me on a date. Why not? You know, what are we here for?
Yeah, you are on Perfect Match.
We're on Perfect Match.
You're trying to find your perfect match.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can't do that if it's like the match that I'm with isn't even, like, we'll talk about it and be like, yeah, it's cool. If somebody comes in, go. Do what you want to do. If you want to go on a date, that's fine. We're locked in right now. But if you want to go do that, I'm not going to tell you no.
Yeah.
But then somebody comes in, it's like
End of the world, yeah.
World War III every time. It's like, bro, what am I going to do?
I want to go in sequential order here. When you eliminated Chris for,
so
as
hard,
they say,
bro.
being the most insincere or less sincere, what ultimate? First of all, I thought you made the right decision.
Okay.
But how did you guys come to that decision to eliminate Chris over Jimmy? Because it ultimately was yours.
It was ultimately me at the end that had to say, you know what, Chris, like, I think it's you. But I didn't know any background. So for me, I'm just seeing Chris as like this guy that we were talking about. He's like, I hate to put these words, bro, but like, this is the best way I can say it, is like a little love by me. Like, first, it's very forward. He's knowing what he wants immediately. So that's all I'm seeing. Okay, he came in, kissed Mackenzie, they went to bed at like 6. So I'm like, okay, maybe this is really what he wants, right? And then Kayla came in and they really connected immediately. So they're like, bro, you aren't trying at all. You haven't even spoken to anyone else, had a conversation with anyone else. And once she was like, Marissa was like, DeMari, like, look at the situation. I'm like, well, at least Jimmy's been talking to everybody. He's going to try to at least figure it out. So, man, that was a hard one. Like, I don't know if you can see, I was stressed.
Well,
like,
Marissa also said
I'm
Jimmy's not going home.
Yeah.
really? I don't even remember that. That's crazy.
But do you feel like even though Marissa was really going
Which
hard
makes
for
sense.
Jimmy?
It's her Love is Blind. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Cashman.
her boy. But
Yeah.
like, do you feel like it was truly your decision, or do you feel
Nah.
like it was Marissa's decision through you?
It was Marissa's decision through me for sure.
Okay.
When I thought back on it, when I was sitting there, I'm like, that's the best decision to make, honestly.
She did make the right
She made the right
decision.
decision.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm not too stubborn to be like, okay, maybe I'm wrong here, or just listen to my partner in the situation. Sometimes they know. Like,
Do you think that you would have explored any sort of path with Catherine had you and Marissa not been so locked in?
me and Catherine are so close as like friends that's such uncharted waters, uncharted territory that I don't know if that would even work, honestly. But I would have, if me and Marissa weren't locked in, or like she came in second or whatever, I would have picked Catherine to stay, at least for her to be able to have an experience and figure out who she's.
Do you think that's kind of
possibly-
Catherine's, let's say, kryptonite, where she seems, I mean, she's obviously a beautiful person,
Beautiful,
but she
yeah.
also kind of comes in and by her own definition is like weird and goofy. And do you feel like she reads as everyone's like pal and friend and almost like takes herself off the table in a like a romantic way? Because it was surprising to see her having a hard time kind of really connect with any guy there.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't think it's her fault. I think these dudes were scared, man. Like,
Okay.
she's too attractive. Like, when she came in, it was like everybody's looking like, oh hell no, I need to like guard my man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she came in and everybody's timid a little bit because they're like, yo, like, my girl, we're already talking about like basically like I can't leave. So in Catherine's smoke show, so it's tough for you to not pick her if you're somebody that is actually like on the list, or like she's finds you attractive.
Who would you have picked if
Mm.
you and Marissa weren't so locked in?
Kayla.
Really?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
was that a bummer to see her be sent home? Like, was that going to be an option for you, or were you?
We didn't even, me and Kayla had just like barely had any type of conversation because she saw how Marissa was as well. But we also were just like talking shit to each other. So she walks in, she tells me she's from Portland. And I'm like, And she's like, the fuck? He's like, where are you from? I said, Indianapolis. She said,
You had a good banter.
Yeah, we had really good
Yeah.
banter. And I think that just made us kind of notice and be like, is there anything? I don't know. And then I know you guys saw the mixer, and then we got to have a conversation there.
Speaking of the mixer, I was a bit surprised that Marissa, after like really locking you down and setting your boundaries
Right.
and really like letting you know how you're supposed to move, kind of leaned into like, with the mixer, it's always like, hey, we're playing spin the bottle, we're playing truth or dare, like these kid games, which, I get it's a TV show.
Right.
But it's always hilarious how everyone in these groups are like, oh, well, I guess we're playing spin the bottle.
I guess we're just
My
kissing
decisions aren't
everybody.
my own. Like it's like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
or I'll be
Oh my God, I'm not
arrested.
playing the game
Yeah.
right.
And I was like, yo, Marissa, you're up DeMari's ass,
Up all the
telling
time.
him how he's supposed to move. And like
Yeah.
the first chance you get, and she was very upfront about it. She told you right away, but she
Silly.
was kind of so dismissive
I was like, oh yeah, I just kissed him.
of how she moved.
Yeah.
Did you feel like, not to use the word, no, then I hate to using buzzwords, but like since it's 2026, did you feel a little gaslit in that moment where you're like, almost where you're like, did you want to say something or did you want to like ask more questions about that? But like, it just seemed like she buzzed through that confession in a way where you were like, yeah, well, it was a game. It was, anyways, I'm sorry.
This was the moment where she was like, she got very upset. She kind of started talking about like her trauma response and how she feels abandoned at, like it kind of got into like that sort of territory. So yeah, what was
I think
your
the
reaction to
space
that?
just exposed a lot of small things that you don't really get to see in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. She to go back to your question first. I think for me, I wasn't actually tripping or doing anything in the games because had my mixer not went how it went, if my ex wasn't in there, or even if she was, I would have been kissing people too. Like it is what it is. I mean, we're here to have a good time. It's cool. So I wouldn't have been kissing people on the side. Now, that is interesting. That's too far, I feel like. Now, if you're doing it in the game, spin the bottle, whatever. It lands on you and another person, y'all kiss, whatever. But if it's like too much, obviously I'm gonna get to see. But I wasn't really upset with that because we kind of talked about it a little like, well, if something happens in there and on that way, if it happens outside of the game, then that's a different story.
Okay.
I don't know. This is not my girlfriend. Like I can't be mad at you for doing something
Yeah.
if you're not my girlfriend.
Yeah, you're like partners.
We're also
Yeah.
arguing all the time. It's like,
Yeah.
What were you guys arguing about so much?
oh my God, I don't know. Like even in there, I was so confused. I'm like, where is this coming from? Why are we always arguing? And I think I just pick really spicy women, man. I think my calmness.
Well, I was just going to ask
Is-
that.
Yeah.
It's an invitation.
I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you seem grounded? You feel you very calm, in control of your emotions, and have you found that maybe some of the people you've dated, almost that it
Yep.
yeah, it
Like
brings
the
up
her,
an
like
yeah.
if you don't pick me, I'll kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Like, why are you so calm, DeMari? You know,
Right.
like
That should have been like red flag. Let me get away from this. I'm like,
Interesting. No, I get it. I
it's
get
the
it.
fluorescent red light we
is
talking about.
You're like,
I love
I'm
that.
in.
oh, she has an
The
opinion.
danger, huh?
Yeah.
what was it like? How shocked were you to see Bree come in, or did you kind of anticipate that might happen?
I anticipated that it might, because we didn't have a like a button to our relationship. Nothing ended it in terms of reality TV. So I was like, I don't know if they would be that messy, but then I'm like, this is reality TV. Like the goal is to be messy.
Yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I'm like, I don't know, maybe she'll be here, maybe she won't. But when I walked in and all 10 people came in and she wasn't in there, I was like, you know, like a big sigh of relief. But when I saw her, that was interesting because we won the first challenge and I see her on the board and I'm like, she's not getting in here. Not on my watch. I won. Why would I let you in here?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to figure it out another way.
You said at the singles, like when she walked in, you're so funny on camera.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
She said, you're so funny. I don't know how it's been for you guys if you ever just seen an ex in passing and you're like, oh, I know what I'm gonna do, and I see this person. You know, I know I'm gonna react. I'm cool.
Mhm.
Like you said, I'm calm, I'm collected. I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
this, right? A hug. We hadn't even like we're not on good terms at all. And for me to be like just trying to extend the olive branch without actually saying anything or having a conversation at all, because we hadn't spoke since we ended things in February of last year. So it that was funny of me to do. It was very funny of me to
And
do.
it seemed like, just reading the tea leaves of your conversation, ultimately the demise of your relationship was like this kind of lack of communication, or it was kind of almost like, it seemed a lot like your relationship with Marissa, where it almost felt like you were constantly on your heels, but you never really understood why. You were always having to defend yourself.
Yep.
Where do you think that comes from?
Damn, you almost stumped me there. I don't know exactly. I think for me, I'm the type of person that is very communicative until I'm not. Until it's like I keep saying something. I keep telling you, please stop doing this. Please stop doing that. I don't want to be spoken to like that. Don't accuse me of these things. I'm here for you. I got you. Don't worry. Until it keeps happening. It's like, I'm going to tell you, I need you to work on this as well. I need you to help me with this. But at the same time, like, I don't want to sound like a victim, because I'm also like, just as calm as I am, the trigger is good. Like I still can flip it around and be like, yo, I'm not going for that right now.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't establish that part early enough for it to be like, hey, we're not doing that. And sometimes that instead of that, I would just close off. And I think that's a part of my problem after a while, not immediately.
When she was like, she's coming at you, she's like, having said all that, I still love you. Like, whoa. But you were like, I love you too. Now, I imagine you meant it as like, I have love for you.
I have love for you. I have love for you.
Yeah.
I have love for you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Did she take it that way?
I don't know.
Okay.
We didn't really have that conversation.
Well,
I hope
next time
she
y'all
meant it
saw
that
each other, it was y'all were making out,
Right.
and you
Put some extra
were
into it,
putting
huh?
some work.
Yeah, I
into
made sure. I
So,
know who that was.
You're like, and I still love you, and then you're like, and I'm gonna give you the best kiss I've ever given you right now.
Yep. I'm an asshole, man. Yeah, he just gave me hell. Yeah, I'm gonna give it right back to you. So that's what I'm saying. Is that
Do you feel like you felt more understood by her? Like, did that conversation, was it productive at all?
for where we were? Absolutely.
Okay.
I didn't leave from that conversation feeling great at all. It's a lot that happened off of camera, and I left from that conversation feeling terrible. And then I went back, had another terrible conversation. So it that night was just a lot for me.
Was that because you were feeling attacked?
Yeah, very much so. There were things that were talked about that shouldn't have ever been talked about on camera in that way, and like family stuff.
Okay.
And I really didn't appreciate that. And they had been talked about in other spaces as well, and it just didn't sit with me correct, because I would never do that to somebody.
Yeah.
That put me in a very bad space mentally there. So it was productive in the sense of us at least having a conversation and me saying to her, like, I just didn't want to like do this anymore. It was never like I'm cheating or I'm doing anything that's bad to you. I can't do this anymore because we aren't seeing eye to eye 98% of the times. Great times when we were good, amazing. Cloud nine.
Mm-hmm.
When we were bad, oh my God. Like we don't even speak for a day or a day and a half or something like that. It was not fun. Not because of me. I'm trying to resolve it.
I think she talked about breaking up after her grandmother's funeral.
Right.
And then she saw you at an event
Mm-hmm.
and you were like flirting with every girl possible there. What is your recollection of that event?
I did not start the flirting until she left, by the way.
Respectful.
So,
Okay.
but I had conversations with people, and I think in that space that we were in, she didn't want to see me talking to no women. You know,
Okay.
sounds a little familiar, huh? But we were out, and it was a Knicks event, and I had got her invited there, and before I ever got invited, before that, she had put somebody else on the RSVP list because I had something to do earlier in the day. So she was thinking maybe I couldn't make it. but the other person still invited me. So I went. It was my friend that invited me and her there. And I wasn't flirting until she left. But people did contact her and be like, yo, is that your man? Like, what's he outside doing? Like, he's talking to girls and all this stuff. So I understood. I got where she was frustrated in that moment. Now, what happened after, I wasn't too excited about. But yeah.
What happened after?
She just went online and was like, immediately to the story, immediately to her TikTok, immediately doing all this stuff just to try to make it look like I was doing
It's kind of coming at your character.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, as men in 2026, I think we're all becoming more, aware of how we come across and how we speak in relationships. And do you ever, like, you're a big guy.
Mm-hmm.
You seem like you were, and this is in a good way, like really hyper aware of, how can I say this? But like, I think sometimes in reality TV, men aren't given the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's generally a woman audience. And are you aware of that? Are you feeling that? Because it feels like you are, or is that just how you are in life, where you are very calm, but I think you seem careful with your words, knowing that your words potentially are in like, it seems like sometimes in these situations with these arguments you were having with the people you were matched with, and it seemed like they care about you, but almost like they wanted to attack you to get you off your toes, but you really never seem to take the bait. And have you learned that lesson in life? Like, I imagine you've had to learn that the hard way over the years.
Absolutely. Like, growing up as first of all, I've always been I was a big kid. So I understand the space that I take up. I'm 6'5", I'm 240 pounds. Like, Bree is 5'1", 05.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I can't do too much to this situation, especially not like yelling or physically or anything like that, because like, what are you doing? Like, this it doesn't actually suit or help at all. Yeah. But like you're saying, I understand the space that I take up, but I also am very careful with my words because of like, I had anger issues as a child. I grew up in environments that weren't maybe suitable for a kid, and had to grow up really quickly. I had to deal with a lot of different emotional spaces and death and all those things. So it made me into a person that when I'm speaking these words, I know how powerful my tongue is. And I don't want to say something to you that is definite, because it can be, you know?
Yeah.
You seem like a really, really great guy, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. I try.
You do.
I fall. I do things wrong as well.
When you're
But we're all
person.
human.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, I think, and I talk about this, there's just so many bad examples of men on TV. So it's always good to see someone like yourself who, again, I think sometimes there's always the excuse of letting our emotions get the best of us. But you seeing you on the show, you're an example of someone who can feel triggered, get attacked, but still like take a pause before you speak in a way that, like you said, you're aware of your space. You're aware of how you can come across, and you've gotten to the point in your life where you're not using that as an excuse anymore. You are just owning who you are and how people see you, and then moving forward, which I think is just a great example of a maturity and getting older. And it's just really cool to see, because we don't, especially on like Too Hot to Handle and Perfect Match, we're just never, it's usually just the exact opposite, and we lean into our messiness. So it's really cool to see, man.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. It was hard to navigate it sometimes just because of the space that we're in, and especially like, I don't know you really. Like, you don't know me. You don't know what actually triggers me unless I tell you. I don't know what triggers you unless you tell me. So
were y'all having those deep conversations maybe at night or off camera?
Yeah, we really did. Wow. I think that allowed me and Marissa to actually be able to navigate that a little bit better, where I may fall short in some of those moments, and she can tell me actually in the moment, like, I don't like that. Don't do that. Right. Or I can be like, yo, please stop talking over me. Like, there's no way I can have a conversation with you if you're going to continue to talk over me or not even let me finish my statement, because the point was right here. Yeah,
there was that part where you're like, you keep interrupting me and I haven't,
I'm being quiet. I'm just like when you guys are talking, I'm sitting there, I'm looking at you, I'm allowing you to speak.
Yeah, it's how a conversation
That's how a conversation goes, right? I thought.
I have to tell Nick all the time, like, hey, your turn. No, go ahead, it's your turn.
Right.
Oh, wait.
That's a great problem to have, though, because you guys like actually value each other's, like you value each other's space. You value
and as I will say, as someone who like yourself, early in my dating life, enjoyed the company of a spicy woman, it often would turn into conflict that I was just like, what's going on? What are we fighting about? And it was funny. We were watching it, and Natalie pointed out that she doesn't do that. Now, granted, when you're in it,
it's
you're
hard.
You're fine.
It's tough. Yeah.
But as someone, I don't know where you are in your love journey. I don't know how it ends. Maybe you're with Marissa. Maybe you're not. It is possible to find a strong, spicy, confident woman who isn't always argumentative and is comfortable in their skin. And and it took me a lifetime to find it. I think I'm a lot older than you. But you can. I'm 45.
Oh, damn! Amazing. What the heck?
Sorry. Kevin Hart.
Good damn.
But yeah, it is possible, and it literally took me a lifetime to figure that out because I was always drawn to I like the pushback. I like to be challenged. I like to. I'm not doing things to just be put in my place, but I like to know that I want to find my equal, and to find your equal, sometimes I've made the mistake of finding that argumentative person.
It's a little too far. The balance is off.
Yeah.
My mom is a spicy lady. You know what I mean? Like, she's not going for it. So I think naturally, just really all the women in my family, they ain't going for it. I've never met a real passive woman in my life, Yeah. So for me, that's probably why. That's probably one of those reasons why I end up chasing those types of things. And as my mom has gotten older, she's become a lot more calm, and that has helped as well to see oh, yeah, okay. Or even just my experiences with women and being in relationships where I'm like, oh, you're not spicy enough. I need a little bit more. I feel like I can do whatever I want to here. I don't want to feel like I can't do anything, but I don't want to feel like I can just get away with anything. You got to not be going for that for me. That's a real big thing. Because I'm not
You
just
want a little jealousy, a little
not jealousy, but
just someone who's going to tell you exactly what you want to be bossed around a little bit.
I want you to know what you want.
Yeah.
I want you to know what you don't want as well.
It's I want someone who's very clear with their expectations of me, but is consistent with those expectations. Because sometimes
if it's not,
you're like, what? Huh?
Yep.
I did what thing you told me to do, and why is it?
Yep.
And then when it's not consistent, it feels like it's just argumentative for the sake of being argumentative, and that's where I would get lost. And I found myself in you a little bit watching it.
Man, thank you, man. I enjoy.
What's your biggest relationship ick?
Relationship ick. My biggest ick in the world. Period. I don't like when people when they chew and they chew with their mouth open. That's my biggest thing. That date is not gonna go well the rest of the time.
Chewing with your mouth open.
Oh, I hate doing that to the other people. It's but relationship ick. If it's too early and you're like babe, baby, all that the too sweet talk. Too early.
You don't like pet names early on?
No,
I just don't like baby talk. Period.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like baby.
You
talk.
don't like it at all?
Baby talk?
Not like baby talk.
Not baby talk.
But
Yeah,
like people calling you
called pet
babe.
names.
Yeah.
Oh, I like the pet name.
Early?
No.
It's kind of weird. It's so you're doing that to everybody.
Wait till you get to know me.
Babe.
Yeah, in what world am I your babe yet? We're not there. Yeah.
Or even a love bomber. Love too early. Like somebody saying I love you too early. That really bothers me. You're insane.
Yeah, I agree. Hard agree.
Yeah.
I feel like you've gotten that a lot.
I have.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
They're trying to lock him down.
I've ended some situationships because of that a few times. I don't like those things.
Okay.
Yes.
We got
cutthroat.
I don't like it, man. It's not cool. It's not cool because you don't because I feel like love is so almost not exactly unconditional, but it's there. It's right on that line. How the fuck you know that after 2 months? You don't know that. Unconditional
That's true.
in 2 months? That's crazy.
I really, really, really like you and really enjoy the way you make me feel and like spending time around you. But that's a different thing.
That's completely different.
Yeah.
I do that as well. I like that as well.
When you're not making good TV, what are you doing? Outside? What do you do for work? What is
modeling, acting, and I make music as well.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of music?
Rap.
Nice.
Yeah, I got to rap a little bit on Too Out to Handle.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would be your dream acting role?
Hitch.
Okay, a modern day
I love
Hitch.
that.
Okay.
Bro, I absolutely love Will Smith. So I would play any role that Will Smith has played, even Wild Wild West. But
No, he gave up the Matrix for that. He could have been Neo.
Never mind, actually.
Yeah.
Who's your dream feature?
Ooh, dream feature. Okay, we'll just go with my favorite artist, J. Cole. J. Cole.
You hear that, J. Cole?
J. Cole
Get on the track.
or Alicia Keys.
Oh.
Yeah, that'd be fire.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Well, DeMari, it's been a fun time getting
Thank
to know
you,
you.
guys.
I wish you the best of luck the rest of the way. Whether it's you and Marissa, happy for you too, if that's how it happens. It's fun to see men like yourself represent men on TV in a way that we always don't get to see. So I appreciate you,
Thank you,
and
brother.
thanks for coming on.
Thank you, brother. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.
Bye.
A quick message from today's sponsor, the ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program. At a certain point, your pet becomes family and you would do anything for them. But sometimes those late night accidents, and I mean by accidents, I mean your dog might eat something they shouldn't. And sometimes that can be a little scary. And when that happens, you don't want to be worried about vet bills or how much it's going to cost you. You just want to be worried about the dog that you love. And that's where the ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program comes in to save the day. The program offers customizable accident and illness plans, making it easier to get the pet care that they may need. You can tailor your plan to fit your budget, your lifestyle, and your pet's particular quirks because vet bills never show up when it's convenient. Can't say enough of great things about the ASPCA. Certainly early in their life, Jeff and Steve got into some things that required us to go to the dog emergency hospital, like late at night. Always scary stuff. But the last thing we wanted to worry about is the high bills that it really costs. And thank God that we had the ASPCA to help us get through those scary times. When you enroll in the ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Plan, you could get a $25 Amazon gift card. It's a little treat for you while doing something great for your pet. Anything that helps remove stress in unexpected pet moments is worth it because when something feels off with your pet, you don't want to overthink every decision. You just want to focus on getting them the care that they need. To explore coverage, visit aspcapetinsurance.com/VIALL. That is aspcapetinsurance.com/VIALL. Eligibility restrictions apply. Visit aspcapetinsurance.com/Amazon terms for more info. This is a paid advertisement. Insurance is underwritten by either Independence, American Insurance Company, or United States Fire Insurance Company and produced by PTZ Insurance Agency Limited. The ASPCA is not an insurer and is not engaged in the business of insurance.
One of the best things in life is when you find a product in a moment that you need it and then you never stop using it. Like I found Clear Stim when I was pregnant with River and I was so stressed about my skin and what to put on it and what was safe. And I had a dear friend of mine recommend Clear Stim and I have not looked back since. And I swear it is the reason my skin is the way it is today. It's a skincare brand that's designed to target acne and aging at the same time with clinically tested products made with 0 pore clogging ingredients. That's why every single product that Clear Stim comes out with, I'm never like, oh, I'm scared to add this into my routine. I'm scared that it's going to make me break out because no pore clogging ingredients ever. Clear Stim protects you from acne and aging at the same time. They're the first clinically tested skincare products made with 0 pore clogging ingredients. That's their Clear Pore Promise. Clear Stim targets breakouts with a full internal and external routine of nutrition supplements plus clinically effective topical products. One of my favorites is the Clarity Serum. I'll use it till the end of time. I will just never stop. It's just so good. I see so many great results and I see what happens when I don't use it and it's not good. Discover the Clear Stim difference because clear skin changes everything. You know we've been partnering with Clear Stim for a while now and we're so excited to share a new special offer for our listeners. Go to clearstim.com/VIALL and use code VIALL at checkout and receive a free mini Hydroglow plumping moisturizer when you spend $75 or more. That's CLEARSTEM.com/VIALL and code VIALL at checkout for a free gift with purchase when you order $75 or more.
You know the little rush you get when you score a big deal. It's a thrill. But now you can get upgrade not just because you're saving money, but because you can get cash back on stuff you were already buying. As soon as you start using Rakuten, you'll watch the cash stack up. Feels like a tiny win every time you check out. Same stores, same cart, just smarter. So listen, like if you like to shop like us, and you're going to buy it anyways, you might as well score a little extra cash on the side with Rakuten. Rakuten is the most rewarding way to shop because you can stack cash back on top of sales and deals at your favorite stores like Sephora, Target, and Instacart. All places we shop at and all places we are earning money back. So it's easy to use. and you get your cash back sent to you through PayPal or a check, just a real check, just mailing you money. The idea is simple. Stores pay Rakuten for sending them shoppers, and Rakuten shares the money with you as cash back. Think fashion, beauty, electronics, home essentials, travel, dining, and so much more. It's amazing how many partners Rakuten has. Something for everybody. Men, ladies, the kids, everyone will be earning cash back just by using Rakuten. Sign up is absolutely free and just takes seconds. 17 million Rakuten members are already saving and earning. In fact, members have earned over 4.6 billion with a B in cash back. Now it's your turn to start. Start stacking sales on top of cash and feel what it's like to know you're maxing your savings. Download the free Rakuten app or go to Rakuten.com to start saving today. That's RAKUTEN, Rakuten.com. What a great guy, DeMari.
Very
Hot,
kind.
too.
Very tall.
He is very kind, yeah. I always say when people walk in the room and address everybody around them, like he did that.
Yeah, he's a catch.
It's understandable why Marissa was like, if you don't match with me, I'll fucking kill you. The first 5 seconds they saw each other.
We would all do it.
We would all do it.
Well, Danny Darko is, I'm so confused, like it's also frustrating that, Janet is going to feel vindicated.
I tried to say, like, even to my friend, she was like, I guess Janet was right. And I was like, well, maybe Jasmine. I don't know. Like, it happened to Jasmine. I think it was just that Janet interjected herself in a situation that she wasn't involved in and made it about her. So that's why she was annoying for that. But it is like, yeah, you are semi-validated because Danny's behavior is...
I think with Janet, for me, it comes like, it doesn't feel like she has good intentions for people. I don't feel like when she is calling anyone out, it's coming from a place of, hey, I don't think you should act this way. She has been accused multiple times of like digging up dirt on people. And all I have to say is, if that's true, I just think that's one of the most deplorable things anyone in reality TV can do, to weaponize your past or mistakes that you've made, especially if you have tried to like right your wrongs and do your work. And if Janet is actually doing that, if she is just constantly going on Reddit and reading rumors about people, whether true or not, and then throwing it in their face at its most convenient time, maybe she's not doing it. She hasn't really denied it. And so like whether she's right or wrong about Danny, I think that's the thing that's hard to digest when it comes to Janet, because I think that's just really cruel behavior if that is happening.
I think she had the right intentions, but went about it the wrong way. And that's why last season people were like, why are you butting into this? But this season they're like, okay, like we've all now experienced this and seen it.
But even the conversation she had with Lacey, where Lacey was like, I don't appreciate the mean girl behavior. You said you read on Reddit that I auditioned and made fun of me for auditioning for Real Housewives.
But then she did her ITM, her confessional, and said, I did audition for the Housewives.
She did, but I'm like, why is that something to make fun of?
Janet, just because Lacey wasn't hurt by that and she owned it doesn't mean that Janet's intention wasn't to try to hurt her. And that's the thing, is Janet is trying to hurt people to make herself, if that's what's happening.
Yeah, and by the way, I love Lacey, but I did giggle when she was like, I did try out for it. And also I'm like, you did send the cease and desist. So I'm like, Janet wasn't lying with that stuff, but she did go about it in a way that I was like, you didn't have to bring that up.
Exactly.
Yeah. I do like Lacey.
I
like them all, but I like Lacey being like, apologize.
I hated that. That was awful. That was the most annoying. If Nick and I are ever in a public setting with a bunch of people and he thinks I did something wrong, you better pull me aside. You better get in the car with me when we are alone and be like, call that person later. The way that she's like, apologize right now. Apologize right now. It felt like she's talking to her toddler who just threw a block and hit somebody in the head, and like not her partner who she sees as her equal. It felt so.
But you just nailed it. You just nailed it on the head. That's why this is an interesting relationship to watch. She does not like him at all.
No, she likes Jesse.
Like, it's just very.
I think they like each other.
Okay, well, he breathes wrong. They're not even married, and he breathes wrong, and she's like, "Ugh, you pissed me off. Figure it out."
I think it's a little performing. I think when she is like, when she used, like, it was last episode when she's like, well, that was just triggering for me, and she kept trying to like have a fight with Jesse in front of the group about how Jesse. That felt like a scene.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think that she's somebody that's made for reality television.
Okay, let me revise. I think they're a real couple because we met them at Hulu Get Real, but I do think there probably was a little bit of like when she told her to apologize, I think Michelle gave her the branch and she was like, okay, I'm going to take the branch and like,
all right,
or
and then I'm
Jesse
just
under.
going to say the opposite of what Justin's saying, that I'm like, if the girl wanted to be on Orange County Housewives and had to settle as Jesse Lawley's girlfriend on the Valley, then this is the behavior that we're getting and the attitude that we're getting.
It is 32
makes
flavors.
Sense.
So.
Thank you. It makes sense. She wanted to be on Bravo. She got on Bravo. Not the way she wanted to.
Also, the way that I know this was the last episode, but the way that she was like, the things that you texted Jesse about me, you said that I was ugly and that I had too much filler and Botox and this. Then they showed the screenshots of the text. Literally did not say that. It did say like, if you're going to bring women around that are going to like be my child's stepmom. It was definitely not nice, but it wasn't like she's ugly.
That's why I love her, is because she's saying things that are not true. And then it's like, she just backtracks it, or it's the exact opposite.
She's like, this is how you made me feel because this is what you didn't say. Yeah. But I read it and I know. And it's just like, I don't know, fucking Bravo.
This episode was like, as much as I want to try to like empathize and defend Danny, and I don't think we know everything, it is really hard to watch like the doubling down, the tripling down, when Nia's literally trying to give him every moment of like,
yep,
don't say anything. Don't say anything. We're still on camera. We're still mic'd. And him just still saying it and being like, why would you say that about me now? Now you're saying things about me. And it's like, no.
The thing I don't get about this relationship, because I respect that Nia and Danny are handling
I respect
their
it too.
business outside of the group, so to speak. What?
I don't.
No.
I liked it more. And I feel like I said this last season, the season before, how I do like that when they have issues that like they try not to really explode on camera, that they try to keep it between the two of them as much as possible. Okay. I do appreciate that.
Okay.
What I don't appreciate, and it's kind of the same, I feel like when parents will fight in front of their kids. And then they'll have like this huge knockout, drag out fight, yelling, whatever in front of their kids. And then maybe they make up before bed. And the next morning they're like, hey, honey, and like act like everything. I feel like you have to show the makeup. You have to show what brought you back together for your kids, obviously, to like see how you work through problems. But it's like, you can't show us this like crazy fight where you're the most disrespectful to your wife. You're not helping at all with your children. And then we just like, what did you say to make up? Did you apologize?
Well, I completely agree with that, because recently everyone is now talking about the fact that Danny was booked for Watch What Happens Live. I think he was supposed to appear this week or whatever. And he opted out, and he blamed it on an opportunity that he got in LA. And whether that's true or not, I'm just like, if I'm Danny, I want to speak on this, right? Like, maybe it's the drinking, I don't know, but like, you can't blame this just on the edit. And I want to give Danny the benefit of the doubt that like, it seems to be some kind of drinking problem. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm reading the situation. Maybe it's deeper than that. Maybe he's just a bad guy. I don't know. Maybe Lala's right and that Nia should leave him. I felt like that's a little too far, but who knows? Mm-hmm. But like, I think we've all had friends that when they take some shots, they get fucking weird and nasty. Like they turn into a different person. And if that's all Danny is, it's still wrong. But like, if that is what it is, what are you doing taking shots on camera with this group? If you're Nia, like if you have this relationship where you're helping each other out and you don't want to expose some of your like deeper issues on camera, what is going on with the drinking?
You filming? Yeah.
And that makes you change your behavior, that makes you seem like a real fucking asshole to your wife.
Lala said that too. Lala was like,
I don't know everything, but what I'm seeing.
If the drinking is the problem, why continue to drink? And it's just like, for me, though, the issue that I have is last episode, not this past episode, but last episode when they were on the safari, where obviously his wife is stressed out, exhausted, their baby, she's hot, the baby's hot. And all she's asking is like, hey, clip in, just can you help me find something to fan our baby with? And he's just like acting so annoyed, so irritated, so like, ugh, like, why did we bring a babysitter? And it's like, she just had a baby. Yeah. Like, she's not ready to hand off her child for 8 hours a day so that she can give you more attention. And when he said that his gripe was because he needed more attention, I'm just like, who's the child here? You've had 4 kids back to back. Let her attend to her kid and you actually show up and be there so that she has the energy to give that to you.
But that was bonkers that he said that, because the episode before that one, when they're at the roller coasters and she's like, I'm so excited to spend time with you. And he's like, this is feeling very performative. It's like, so which is it? Do you want
Yeah.
to
She can't win.
or not?
Well, and to circle back, Natalie, to what you said, like I feel like Nia and Danny were attempting to try to give us the like resolution part of it, but then Danny somehow maneuvered it in a way where now Nia's apologizing for bringing something up on camera when it's like, why is she apologizing?
Why is she
Exactly.
apologizing?
How did we
for
get
your
to this point?
For stating that you have shitty behavior and that it needs to change.
For acknowledging it after you were talking to her for like an hour.
And yelling at Lala
Yeah.
and yelling at your wife. Like, and that's the thing where I'm like, if you can't keep that in the box in the sense to where maybe this isn't what, like, because I do hate when people kind of go into the whole like, well, then imagine what's happening behind closed doors. Because, like, let's not make it seem as if somebody is, like,
Yeah, that's
scary,
crazy.
abusive.
True.
Yeah.
Lala was kind of doing that.
You know
Yeah,
what
good
I mean?
point.
Where I'm just kind of like, if they have the audacity, a lot of the times if people have the audacity to do that in front of people, it's usually like, this is what
That's
it
what they do.
is.
Yeah, Lala's clearly projecting her life choices onto Nia and Danny.
Exactly. And I'm just like, I think that Danny has an issue with drinking and his behavior, and I think he needs to seek some attention for that. But I don't think that Nia would be in love with this man that's completely abusive.
Yeah, I again, like it can be. I completely agree with you. But the thing that is concerning and a weird, like, is that the fact that he is avoiding speaking on this tells me he doesn't want to address it, doesn't want to acknowledge it. It wouldn't be that hard to just, whether it's Watch What Happens Live, comes on a podcast, whatever. I hope we get a chance to speak with them to just say, yo, yeah, this is not my best self, and it was hard to watch me. Like, it should be really easy for any guy, whether you like have some excuses or editing, to just say, that was hard to watch me speak to my partner that way, and that is not who I want to be or who I am. And like, I did it, I have to own it, but that is not, I think that is an ugly version of me. Even like with Kyle last night, where, you know, on the episode, I think he was crying in the confessional. We've criticized Kyle ad nauseum, but like, yes, it was humanizing to hear him say, like, my actions have really caused me to be in this place I am today. And whether I have my excuses or not, I have made some of these choices and I have to own that. And that is humanizing. And that is like, you know.
But it is also really frustrating this is season after season, something we've seen with Danny. And I don't know if they just maybe don't watch the episodes back, but like, how could you have not watched last season and be like, oh, I see the issue. Got it.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Locking in. How are we back here again for another season?
Because he got accused of grabbing another woman inappropriately. And a lot of people, including all of us, were like, we know that's not okay, but this feels like maybe a one-off. And like, it seems like the people talking about are really trying to milk it. To that, whatever though, it's still a really, really terrible thing to be accused of, or to even suggest that you did that. And for any person, it should mortify them that they're being discussed in that manner. And to that point, you would think that would be like all the wake up call you would need to like going forward on camera to just be like, I should probably not fucking take shots.
What did Nia say?
She said, I think it was the same thing of saying that he had
I just saw his
a
story
gig come up.
post. I mean, everybody just thinks that he's bailing on it because, he doesn't want to.
I mean, Nia just
his
confirmed
behavior.
that he had like a gig.
And I also wonder too, because I'm like, I just remember last season too defending Danny, just in the sense that I was like, how can we be so hard on Danny when we have Brittany sitting here talking about Jax throwing her in rose bushes, and when you're comparing the two behavior, where obviously you shouldn't be comparing situations, but when you have somebody that is so outwardly disruptive in his behavior and how he talks to his wife, whatever, then it's like you're not really looking at Danny as like the biggest problem. Now having Jax being removed from this season, I do think that it definitely like spotlights Danny in a different way, because I'm like, Jesse and Michelle are no longer fighting so ugly with each other like they were the last season. That made it almost unbearable to watch. Brittany might as well be a guest or like a friend of on the show, because Jax is no longer on it. So it's like the main focus right now is this like perfect marriage that we've seen for the first 2 seasons. And then it's like kind of almost feels like it's like their time to be spotlit. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel like it's manufactured. It feels very like real.
The curtain's been lifted or something, you know what I mean? Like where Jax has stepped away and then it's like, oh wait, Danny and Nia don't have this like perfect marriage.
To me, you see that with like the drag, not the drag, I guess like the pageant scene when it was like the cameras are always looking now at like Nia, Danny, and Lala. Like that's what they were focused on, but you're catching so much. Like why would they be looking at all the other men when they're just like in a fun situation?
I don't know, because I'm like, now I see where like Brittany kind of feel like she got reprimanded or whatever last season because she brought up Danny's drinking, and then everybody yelled at her at the table and said she was jealous and
in this episode they
angry,
said that.
So they talked about it.
Zach brought it up, which is interesting.
Yeah,
saying that Brittany's never liked Nia.
I was like, I don't know. And
has she never liked Nia, or has she been trying to look out for Nia?
And it kind of feels like the other cast members too are kind of trying to show that last season that it's like they aren't perfect, but I don't know, like I don't know why Danny would then lean into it. Like if you are around people that you don't feel safe with, if you're around people that you think inflate your behavior, then why would you go get blackout and then start saying things at the table towards Janet?
Yeah, I just wish that I think the Valley, comparing it to like In the City, like maybe it's just me because like I relate to like when Kyle's talking about, you know, like his business struggling. Like that's really relatable stuff. I want to hear more about like it seems like the Valley is always just going from relationship to relationship to try to expose each relationship like to be something that it's not.
Yeah.
And I just like I find that to not be that like transitioning to Summer House. There was that moment when Kyle and Amanda were talking about, I don't know if I forget which one conversation, but I think it was the one outside the house. And they're like, we've had some of our best and some of our worst memories of our lives. And that is real shit, man. Like a marriage or any relationship that lasts a decade. Like, I think it was Lindsay Hubbard not too long ago, like when this Amanda came out, and she's like, if you like our personal lives there's way more drama than we share. And that's so true because like even reality TV stars have their limit to like every little detail they're going to share about their lives. And the truth is every relationship and all of our lives are messy. There's no such thing as a perfect relationship. Even the best ones have to fight to keep the relationship going and have to put in the work. And I'm not saying this because what's really, but like I can only imagine the shit that Kyle and Amanda have had to deal with together to survive a relationship on camera, public scrutiny. And that's the real shit. And it's just like, I'm hoping that In the City, like, you know, shows me like there was that in the season preview, and he calls his best friend that he gets introduced to his best friend, the bar owner, and he says, "You're the Bernie Madoff of a hospitality." Like that is, first of all, like a crazy thing to say about your alleged best friend. Bernie Madoff is a con artist, and he destroyed many people's lives through like stealing all their money. So I don't know where that comes from. Maybe but like I'm interested in that aspect of like of these relationships and how work and relationships like really affect these people's lives in a way that the Valley seems to have a hard time tapping into.
Mm-hmm. To your point, I think it's a lot of people who have their main focus is like their relationships, and like obviously it's like influencer work, which like good, great, and whatever. But I'm like, they don't really have things going on that they can share about. I just even remember a season with Jax where he was like did an event for like premature balding or something, but it was like at least Jax remembered that like, hey, I should be pushing a product.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean?
It feels like they're in limbo, which to me Summer House kind of also felt like it was in limbo because it was just like the same situationships and like fuckboys and
but like
same
you
actions.
had people like starting companies or like wanting to do a bathing suit line or like dealing with intense debt and or going bankrupt, and it's just like these are real life issues that like people in our bracket and our age group, it's like if you're not dealing with it now, you may deal with it in the future. You're gonna have a friend that deals with this versus like do you like me or do you not like me? Do you like her? And it's like I'm too grown to watch this kind of scenario go back and forth.
But that's why In the City I think is so good.
100%. I want to watch people with real jobs, with real opinions that have real insults. God bless the fight between Carl and Kyle, but like you 6'5" motherfucker, if that's the worst thing you can come up with versus you're the Bernie Madoff of hospitality.
Also, I forget her name. Sorry, I'm getting to know this cast, but Lindsay's friend, the dermatologist, who has like
Georgina.
Georgina.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so locked into her. Like she has more than one kid. And her husband left her. We don't know why. She is a business owner. She is like
Single
surviving
mother.
in New York with kids who like, oh my God, like I'm locked into this person.
Oh my God, when she opened
And she's
up
like,
her
I lost
medical
my
cabinet
shit, you know?
for her change of clothes.
No, I low-key want to be a dermatologist in my next life, but I saw that and I was like,
I was like,
now I know what to
iconic.
get.
She was like casual
The
outfit,
towelettes.
black tie,
She's
Chanel
like, here's
purse.
the Chanel. Yeah. Like just in your cabinet and your derm. Okay.
You just never know when you're going to get the call in New York.
I usually, when I go to those places, I usually take a couple of like cotton swabs. And so now I know there's a Chanel in the bag.
Dare I say that In the City is just Housewives repackaged.
Oh,
I think that's why I enjoyed
But
it.
it feels
better.
better than Housewives. Like Housewives felt, it just felt so sceney and it felt so like just these weren't
a little
friends.
samey.
I don't know. It just didn't feel as genuine to me. And this, like Lindsay going after Kenny and being like, listen, I'm just meeting this guy. Like I'm just asking you very surface level questions. And if you're getting defensive, that's a you problem. Like,
Yeah.
that's so real of just like meeting someone for the first time and being like, he's like, this is giving I hate men. She's like, I'm just annoyed by men or something.
Good point, because also Andrea and Danielle being a part of this cast to me shows like these were the friends that were on Summer House that stayed friends and became friends, and now we're seeing like their real friendships.
Mhm.
And then with this
So-
Danielle like relationship, who is this guy who as soon as they started talking about it, she's like, I've known him for 9 years. Then we like both went our separate ways, got into relationships. So this is like her version of the story. And he's like, yeah. And then we rekindle. And that sounds like very sweet and very innocent and very like rom-com-ish.
Dating for 6 months.
There is like, listen, like if you go on reality TV, your life changes, obviously. And like a lot of, and people treat you a little bit differently. And like a lot of the people, if they're not your tight group of friends, like your acquaintances and like your circle, like they get kind of weird around you. And if they've ever had a desire to do what you did, which is to like go on reality TV or get some kind of public profile, they can get weird and hard to trust you. So like my spider senses went up when he was like, oh, he knew you before you were like famous, and now you're on a TV show, and all of a sudden you're back together, and here he is on a TV show.
And then here Amanda is being like, yeah, and he's married.
And he's married.
Isn't that better though, that if he knew
Also,
her
rich
before?
Amanda. But keep
I don't
going.
know. I mean, listen, maybe it means nothing, but it just makes me wonder if he's there for the right reasons, so to speak. Where it's just like, what was the draw for him to reach back out?
Well, he got her pregnant, so
I thought he looked sweet. I was like, okay, this is like one of the people you knew in your past, like, and like he came back because it actually was a relationship that like made
Maybe,
sense.
yeah,
Like,
maybe.
Did you see the tweet that was Kenny being like, she's such a doll, like, talking about Whitney. She's such a doll and such a little angel. And then Whitney being like, I love him so much. I moved here from the middle of nowhere to New York City. And it shows a picture of Jax Taylor and Brittany. Like,
oh, I didn't clock that.
first season. It was just some tweet that went viral, but like so funny because I hope not.
it's like Whitney has been a successful influencer for a very long time and lived out here. So like that's where I'm like, no, you're not.
She moved from
some-
city to city.
The way that she makes it sound though is as if like he like plucked her out of obscurity in
I
Michigan.
did hear that, and I was like, wait, where is she from? Because it was like, to me, I got the vibe that she was LA, but it sounded you're right.
Yeah,
Like,
she's
some-
100%. But whatever.
Do we? Honest question. This is not meant even to be snarky or mean, but watching Summer House
Mhm.
and watching the whole Ciara and West dynamic, and again the kiss,
Ugh.
and then like Jess, and then West trying to pull her into the bed, and Jesse being like, "Yo, dude, if Jesse Solomon of all people giving like solid based relationship advice, which is like, yo, dude, you have to be 110%, not even 100. You got to throw in an extra 10.
Yeah.
He's like, I know. And like, is West Wilson emotionally stunted and stupid? And I'm not saying that to be cruel or mean. Or is he that Machiavellian where he just like, he knows what he's doing, but doesn't give a fuck? Because at this point, it is so, and Kyle referenced this on Watch What Happens Live. It's just like the way he talks about like, I didn't want to hurt her when we try to date casually. And like, as Kyle pointed out on Watch What Happens Live, what about Ciara makes you think that she is interested in anything casual with you? Like, what are you, again, are you that dense, or do you just not give a fuck?
I don't think he gives a fuck.
Yeah, I was like, he does not give a fuck. He's not stupid. And like, I'm sorry, I know, friend of show, love him dearly, but like, it reminds me of every time Tom Schwartz would get caught for cheating or something, and he'd just be like, I was like, like, it was just like a bad moment. Like, I didn't think about it. And it's like, but how many times can you do the same thing over and over again and just not think about it? Or maybe you should stop drinking or like do something different. Where I'm like, West takes zero accountability for anything he does, and then the second he gets confronted, he can talk shit behind his podcast mic or on his little TikTok, but then it's the second that he's confronted face to face with somebody just being like, let's have a conversation, he's just like,
It's the amount of times he said like that. I'm like, okay, you're playing a character.
Yeah, like you want to play this like, oh, I'm a little boy that doesn't know what decisions I'm making, so you can't really be mad at me. But I'm like, you make big destructive decisions, you're gonna have to deal with big destructive fallout.
He's literally telling Ben to like tell his girlfriend to chill out on playing Cupid, and then like 10 minutes later he's making out with Ciara.
That's why I think he's doing it on purpose. That conversation with Ben, it didn't look like he was hammered. It looked like it was probably at the beginning of the party. Like it looked like a very sober, self-aware, honest conversation. And then to then have him say all of that and then make out with Ciara and then canoodle with her and then try to pull her into his bed. It's just like, you know what you're doing. And for Kyle, Watch What Happens Live being like, West did that. I think it was asked like about do you think it was physical back then or just emotional? And he was like, I think it was just emotional, but I think West did certain things that like he knew would like pull Amanda in essentially.
I said this when the Scamanda first started. I wanted to know who seduced who, because I really do think that matters. Like when you have so who started the relationship? Who started reaching out? Who started texting? Who started showing more of an interest? I really, really think that matters. And it doesn't, again, excuse Amanda. But when we're going back and watching these scenes and we're seeing these intense moments, these beautiful moments between Ciara and Amanda, this like strong woman friendship, I don't think that she was like lying through her teeth. I mean, who knows? But like, and I just feel like Amanda, and again, it's not an excuse. It's just like, just to understand, because like we all have made really bad decisions that we look back and go, what the fuck was I thinking? You know, we have to go get therapy, and then our therapist has to been like, well, you have some childhood trauma, and you know, I mean, you were, you know, whatever it is that you have to unpack. But yeah, it's just more like I feel like West is, he had, again, we've talked about it. He's had a roster of people, and Amanda, I think that scene between Ciara, Mia, and Amanda of her like being truly afraid, knowing that she's done with Kyle, she like the relationship's over, and probably the thing that kept Amanda hanging on and trying so much wasn't her love for Kyle, the relationship, but a true fear of like finding something after this relationship, because she's been in it for so long. And then here's this West guy coming in and being nice to her and flirting with her. And I think she just fell for it.
I have a follow-up question with this. Is a fuckboy kissing you on the forehead more intimate than a fuckboy kissing you on the lips? Because that's what he would always do to Amanda, is like hug her close and then kiss her on the forehead, but then be recklessly consistent with kissing Ciara on the lips. But like, that's where I'm like, it almost was more intimate what he was doing with Amanda now.
I saw Carl, I think it was Carl on Watch What Happens Live, being like, the way that West touches Amanda or anyone that is like, he was like, she is married, and the way that his hands go like around her waist or on certain part, like that just should never happen at all. Yeah, her head, her hair, that should just never happen between a friend.
These kind of guys who like play this whole like, I'm friends with everyone. It's very disarming. It's very much, it's like and they're very touchy-feely, and they like do like cheek kisses with like the girls, and they hug, and it's just like, and half of these women are like have boyfriends.
We're in LA. This isn't Paris. Like, why are you kissing me on the cheek? Like,
there's a lot of guys like that. And
you're from Michigan.
West, he's kind of like does the thing where he's just like, you know, he's just the lover boy. And again, at the end of and when everyone's saying I love you, but it started with West and Ciara, and it's like he shouldn't. I'm not saying he shouldn't like when everyone's saying I love you, it's not like he shouldn't say it back and like make a good moment awkward by being like, well, I'm just saying it as a friend. But that's how he instead of being cautious about how his actions and words come across to Ciara, he uses that as an opportunity almost to say things that like she is just going to find confusing or misleading.
Ciara, do they do this? I mean, is this every season finale where everyone's crying and being like acting
right?
like everyone's dead and where they're not going to see each other again? Like,
No.
It was giving Vanderpump finale.
I saw, because I thought the same thing too. I was like, why is everybody crying so hard at this? But I think it's because they obviously knew that In the City was happening. And so I don't think they knew like whether or not everyone's coming back next season. So like this could be some people's last seasons. So I think that kind of had something to play in it. But I was like, yeah, no, they usually are like, you guys live in the same on the same island.
It was the sitting around the table before they walked out to me.
You know, y'all are going to run into each other at the coffee shop. Why are we crying?
The opening scene of In the City where it's Amanda and Kyle.
Uh-huh.
And they're talking about the West thing. And she's like, I mean, you cheated on me. I would never cheat on you. And like, how would you even suggest that? And he's like, no, I didn't. He's like, there's a video. And he's like,
okay.
No.
Okay.
No. What he said specifically, he says who?
Says
There's
who?
the video.
Says who?
Okay.
Okay.
That was funnier. Him saying says who.
Oh, that's amazing.
I think Kyle's learned that, sometimes it's not worth pushing back. You're just like, that was true. You're right.
No notes. All right.
I also thought it was really interesting that scene, post Summer House, pre-dating the Amanda dating West, and you have that walking on the street, again, another great moment where you're walking the streets of New York, having a scene, love that, very authentic, not sitting down, and they're getting out of therapy. And they're like, you're catching up with him outside of therapy. And she's like, you came home at 4 a.m. again, like and it just, what I really appreciate about these moments, because again, regardless of what you think of Amanda and her choices, and I just, to me, it really it humanizes them in a way that just, again, doesn't justify the actions, but I think it humanizes Amanda in a way that doesn't make her like some evil monster whose only goal was to get close to Ciara only to fuck her over. And I think this is more about Amanda truly struggling with herself in her relationship with Kyle and her like identity outside of this relationship. And I just felt that was a really interesting moment.
She did both for sure.
I think two things can be true at the same time. Like, I think that like I don't know. Just the emotional connection between her and West, like it's just hard for me for them to be like, oh, that wasn't an emotional affair, where I'm like, very much so. You would rather talk to West than talk to your husband while going through things. You're saying that you want to work things out and we're only upset about one thing. But yet, you're upset about the parting, but you chose to marry him. You said, even when they talked about like, oh, I focus more on the beginning of our relationship and Kyle's more focused on the now, where I was like, well, that makes sense for Kyle to be focused on the now because you found out about the cheating or the accusations or whatever, and then still accepted a proposal, still went through a marriage, still came back every summer complaining about this husband that's such a problem for you, but you did nothing to fix it or change it. And now you're so checked out, and it's just like, I don't know. So that's where I'm like, are we really working on it? Or are we just harping on like the one thing versus like talking about all the other things that aren't being addressed on camera?
Did you guys like the fact that she decided to separate with him at the anniversary dinner? Or did that seem like unnecessarily like bad timing?
I just felt like it was kind of mean.
Bad timing. Also, it's kind of nitpicky, but like when Kyle was like, all right, well, if I agree to this, and she's like, you don't have to agree with it. Well, yeah, you do, Amanda. You can move out. Kyle's not keeping you prisoner, but you're not just moving out. You're saying, I'm going to move out, but I want us to still be together. I want us to still work on a relationship. We're still going to do this. And Kyle does have to agree to that. And like, give him a fucking chance to like process what you are trying to ask him to be okay with. He's not okay. Yeah. You want to move out. He is processing whether you're saying it's not the end, but he has a choice to say, well, if you're going to move out, we're done.
Yeah, see that, and this is what I had an issue with that final conversation with Summer House, and then this conversation as well, was that I'm like, you know that you want distance. When she was like, oh, when Ciara brought that up and it was surprising to me too, I was like, no, the fuck it wasn't. You were literally a part of that conversation and then acting as if Ciara was like going out of bounds by saying these things when you're having these conversations constantly saying how unhappy you are, crying on the floor, the whole nine. So it's like you're not telling Kyle the half of how you actually feel in this marriage, in this relationship, but you'll tell everybody else. And then when there's finally some sort of solution, which would be moving out or separating or whatever, it's like, well, this isn't the end of us. This is just how we're going to work on it. And it's like, in what world does any relationship have like a married couple move apart from each other? It's like that is such a rare occasion to where I'm like, it just sounds like you want to break up, but you don't want to lose him entirely. So we're going to keep you on a little leash where it's like, you have full access to me. I have full access to you. We're not broken up, but like, we're not like together. And I don't need to consult you with like where I'm going and what I'm doing every day. But yet, like, if I want to see you or I need to feel loved or I need to feel something, I can call you.
Can I say for a second, despite the Wes and Amanda of it all, we can't knock her necessarily for wanting to baby step out of the marriage, right? Like divorce doesn't just happen like, and you move out. So like, I think she was afraid to like vocalize exactly what she said. And unfortunately that comes at the detriment of Kyle.
Well, that's what I'm saying though, is that I'm like, instead of having an actual conversation about your feeling or how he makes you feel or what this relationship is doing to you, instead it was like, okay, because when we're having this conversation with Ciara and Mia, it's I'm done with the relationship. When we're having this conversation with Kyle, it's not a
energy.
breakup. It's not, we're just taking time, we're taking space. And it's like, no, you're literally just breadcrumbing a breakup, but being like, it's fine, but we're still together, so you don't have to feel weird about it.
But maybe she still did think that there was something. Or maybe she was afraid to acknowledge to herself that that was over, which makes it messed up still.
I'm with Justin. Like, I don't think there's a perfect roadmap of how to get divorced. And I think you always even want to try to do it differently, you know?
But
I think it's just more like,
I just feel like honesty. Like, you can't sit here where I'm like, and think of how hurt Kyle's going to be watching back this season and seeing how you actually feel, how you actually talk about him versus what you're saying to him to keep him on the line, to keep him defending you in public.
So let him talk. Like, he wasn't able to talk. Like, you just kept cutting him off.
And then she says he can't express himself.
That's the thing. I was like, I also see that where I'm like, okay, let him at least say his perspective.
Before this anniversary dinner where she was like, I'm going to move out, didn't we have a flashback scene to where he was like, I think you should move out?
Well, no, that was after the therapy session. She said, yeah, he told me to move out. But then the flashback didn't necessarily show that.
We saw a flashback of him being like, I can't be in this same house with you and do this with you. Like, you need to move out.
The separation.
Yeah.
So I guess he did. So yeah, he did say that.
So then we have her at the anniversary dinner being like, yeah, so I'm going to move out. It's like, so I don't feel like this was this like drop of information over mozzarella caviar sticks.
I do think Amanda's unwillingness to just let Kyle process what he said and make it like her decision, to I think Ciara's point, was she was kind of pretending this was like an idea to fix the relationship, but in reality, deep down, it was like step one of 4 to like leave the relationship. And maybe she didn't want to admit that to Kyle or herself. I will say, like, I keep feeling like I have to, like, oh, we're not defending Kyle's actions. But, like, I mean, when he was talking about how at one point, and he took people's money, you know, he asked friends and family to invest in his business. And that is meaningful on so many levels. And to know that at one point you could have sold that company for 25x their investment, and now you're struggling to survive that, like, that is, like, that'll destroy a guy or person. Like, that feels like the weight of the world. When you have like people you're responsible for and salaries, and some of these people are people you care about, and and people trusted you with their money. And I mean, whenever I'm feeling stressed out about work, I am so grateful I have Natalie to like just, you know, feel like I have a partner, and I feel like I have someone to like listen to me and give me ideas. And if Amanda wasn't that for Kyle, you know, like, it doesn't justify how he spoke to her, but I get where that anger and resentment and that abandonment feels like, because if he was just like, all of a sudden he's on the top of a mountain and then it just come crashing down. I know we've all mocked the DJing, but if he is making money from it in a space where he hasn't found success in other places,
he doesn't have a salary,
and B, you know, it's also feeling like he's probably felt like a failure the past couple years, both professionally and in his relationship. And when he does try with his wife, he just gets fucking shot down.
Yeah.
And just like, and then it's just like a chicken before the egg. And again, like it doesn't justify these actions, but at some, these things don't just happen in a vacuum. There's no real like starting point, And I just don't think you can blame the whole relationship on Kyle and how he spoke to Amanda. I don't, again, it doesn't justify it, but like you can poke a bear so many times before like they just like fucking lose their shit. And clearly Kyle feels alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe him that he feels piled on, and I don't think he's delusional for feeling that way.
No, even when he said his whole thing where he was like, I looked over the table and you had a smug look on your face, and that just like, it felt like you were eating it up, that everybody was. And I'm just like, even with my partner, I'm like, I'm sorry, there's just no world in which I'm sitting around a table. I don't care if it's my best of best friends. If you're coming at my partner, I am going to interject because it's none of your business.
It's also different if you're throwing them to the wolves
Yeah,
versus like trying to defend it.
You know what I mean? Or just being like, enough, guys, enough. Like, he gets it. You know what I mean? Where I'm just like, even Lindsay started the whole thing off popping off with like, oh, but he got a DJ career. And it's just like, was that necessary? Like, and it just feels like for him, like that no one's going to jump in and be like, okay, Lindsay, like, like enough. And especially to look to his wife, and his wife is just like, yeah.
Did you guys see the teaser for the season of In the City? And it's Amanda going, if you come for me, I'll come for you.
No, that's
yeah,
crazy.
I was like, I wish that was real, but I doubt it.
It's
wonder
probably
if that was
clever
real.
editing, but it was probably clever editing.
It's
but
probably like a silly conversation that they were having, and they were like, yes.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't go that way. And I
mean, I think they're
were
cordial.
just like giving some
But
good
also-
punchy one-liners.
I was kind of like, I don't know. How do you guys feel about Kyle charging Amanda back rent?
That was nuts.
That's crazy. You're married.
That was
I don't
wild.
understand.
Yeah.
Wait, what was the back rent for again? Explain.
He said that if they're like, if he's staying in that place and she's not living, or she was living there or
hadn't
something.
paid rent for the last 3 years, and he was like,
that's like me saying you
added
haven't
it all
paid our
up.
mortgage ever. I don't like, but like we now have
$119,000,
but
which honestly, I will eat up Amanda being like, I already paid it.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah, literally.
like, yes.
She had a great
that
year.
is nuts.
But I am curious where that do they have their? I mean, some married couples
Split.
have completely split finances. They don't combine their finances, and if that's it sounds like that's what the only way that would make sense is if they've completely split their finances.
But I mean, I do that. But even then, I'm like, I feel like that would be a conversation. You don't get to make a
year or 2
spreadsheet
year
after
late.
we're separating and be like, well, since this didn't work out, like this is what you've wrapped
But this is
up.
what happens though with
Yeah.
like when you divorce or separate.
No, it would make sense if they split their finances
Yeah.
and Amanda has her joint bank account and Kyle has his, and they have their businesses, and and Bravo pays them and they do their social whatever, it just goes in their separate accounts, and then there's no like mutual account where maybe some of the joint, and then they agreed to, at some point early in their marriage, they just agreed to split expenses, and then like life happened, and Kyle is just like in the middle of his marriage, just like rent's due, so it's like I'm just going to pay the rent, because we're married, not thinking much about it, and then the relationship goes south, and then they get divorced, and he's like, but I technically paid all the rent, and you didn't, and we were technically supposed to split it, then that would make sense.
And do we remember like Sutton on Beverly Hills had a forensic like investigator or accountant that like looked into everything, and like they're gonna do it if Kyle's not doing it, the forensic
Fine,
person.
I hear what you're saying, but all I'm saying is that it's crazy work.
It does
if you
look
guys
crazy.
are splitting finances, that you covered the rent 1 month and we're like, okay, get me when you can, and then you do it again, and then you do it again for 3 years, then I would just assume you're paying the rent. Like, I don't think you should, like 3 years later, you're like, you know what? Remember that one time you forgot to pay rent and then I just kept doing it for 3 years, but we never talked about it again?
Like moving,
you owe me.
or like moving forward, like you're gonna split. Like
Yeah,
I know I
like-
was covering it.
It's kind of
Yeah.
giving like, remember that gift I gave you for Christmas a few years ago? I'm gonna need that back because we're broken
Wait.
up now, and I kind of
Also,
want that.
he was her boss.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
So I'm also kind of like, what do you mean you're paying her mortgage or her rent? She's doing your creative directing and designs.
I think it says where like Kyle is like with his finances. Like I think it
Yeah.
just reveals a little more of like he is in a position where he needs
And I think
it.
he did say that on like Watch What Happens Live, that he was
Yeah.
kind of like, I think Lindsay said that she made more money than he did that year. So,
Which,
fine.
by the way, in divorce, you go into survival. That's what happens.
I just still think that that's crazy work.
I will say, I thought it was nuts. The conversation that Kyle had with Kenny at the restaurant, the first time we meet Kenny. And
Okay.
he's like talking about Amanda, and he's saying, you know, how like she used to be this way and now she's this way and she doesn't ever come around and blah, blah, blah. And Kyle's like, yeah, they're talking just about like how much she's changed or whatever. And I feel like if you aren't, and Kyle's like agreeing with him, and, you know, I feel like if you're not willing to grow like with your partner, like clearly she doesn't, she's in her 30s, like she doesn't want to go out, she doesn't want to do this, she doesn't want to do that anymore. Like that's part of just maybe, I don't know, growing up or whatever. But the fact that it's like he sees that as a flaw and not of like, that's, I feel like that's when people fall out of love, is when they stop growing with their partner. They stop, like, they just expect them to be the exact same person they were when they met.
Yeah.
And not like,
or both like individuals stubbornly don't try to find whatever that balance is. I do think it is interesting that Amanda in a relationship with Kyle, like was always like the homebody who never wanted to do anything. And post divorce, Amanda can't help, she needs to wear wigs because she needs to go out so bad, only to get popped by, you know, at the game. It's just like, girl, like you.
Well, what is she going to do? Stay home?
I was going to say.
She did with Kyle.
I do. Well, I think her mental health might be a little struggling right now. And maybe she needs like her friends and to go out and get out of the house and to like have her friends force feed her or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And staying in your house, like reclusing from everyone, being a hermit crab only makes your mental health worse. So I understand her wanting to get out of the house.
Yeah.
But even to like Kyle's point when he was kind of like, it makes me sad to know that like someone else is going to enjoy the Amanda that I fell in love with. And I'm like, yeah, like, and that's so solid. That's why like a lot of people where it's like, you got to stick it out. Cause it's just like, imagine that you did all of this work to give it to somebody else as like this improved thing. But I'm just like, I also think that Amanda kind of, if you remember early seasons of Summer House, Amanda did the same thing that she's doing with West now, is that I'm the fun girl. I love going out. I party all the time, blah, 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 blah. And then you get comfortable. You're with somebody for a while. You don't need to do all that stuff anymore. And I think that's who Amanda actually is. But like right now she's doing the, well, I'm young and I'm dating West and like I got to keep up, and West hangs out with all of these girls. So I got to be there because if I'm not there, somebody else will be there. And like thinking that the fact that like she was going over to his house to pregame before he was going out on dates, like she knows that if she's not going out, he's not staying home with her.
I thought about this last night of like, do you guys remember before we knew that Amanda and West were anything, they just were posting like videos together, like on the street or like at bars
out
and like none of us clocked that any of that was anything. We were just like, oh, they're just friends hanging out, even though they never were like friends like that hanging out to go drink and stuff.
Oh my God. I like click on some of the girls that like West like comments on and whatnot and being like, how close are they? And then it's like, there's so many girls that are just like, I just feel like West is in their orbit in a way that like is just like a rotating door.
Okay, we have to talk about the reunion trailer.
Yes.
Yes.
West not walking out. It's crazy.
No, Lindsay going, are you going to get up? Are you going to go get your girl? Be a man. Get your girl.
Them sharing a dressing room and him walking in and kissing her. I was just like, oh, this feels so weird. And then, having everybody be like, go get your girl, go get your girl. And Kyle being like, this is so fucking weird. And I'm like, yeah, because it's still your girl.
And then you have Ciara's line of like, he's only dating you to spite me, which is a sick burn. And I think it had the desired effect, which was to hurt Amanda. That being said, I think it was like, I mean, obviously not true. And I think that's the thing that like, that's the hardest thing to get over a heartbreak, is the realization that like Ciara has invested so much of her energy and love and consideration into this possibility with West, only to realize he doesn't give a fuck about her. And he, you know, and that is to care about something so much. The indifference of the other person is the thing that hurts the most. That's why our friends are always like kind of lying to us when we're like, then they're trying to make us feel better, is to try to come up with some other excuse. Then they just don't give a fuck. And I think that's just really the hardest thing to try to, you know, because it should be the signal of like why we should move on, because they're, you know, instead of feeling not good enough, it should be the thing that makes us go, this person doesn't appreciate what I'm willing to bring. And, you know, but like her saying that is like, to me, explains why she's had such a hard time of getting over this relationship with West, because like, you know, it's hard to realize the thing we cared about and invested so much of our energy, that other person, because clearly Wes doesn't give a fuck. You know, you can't say that Wes cares about anything about what Ciara feels, even though he pretends to, or he's just stupid, because like Ciara is so clear about what she wants from Wes, and he still keeps pretending to be confused about what she wants. And I think it's because he just doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care.
You know what I was also thinking about is like, how do they show up to, I guess we kind of saw because we saw them enter together into the dressing room, but it's like, how can Wes and Amanda even show up in this reunion? Because they either show up and double down as we're full on couple, or they just like say we're not a couple, but then it's like, why did you do all this? You know what I mean? So it is, in my opinion, it is kind of in spite of Ciara. Regardless, like you can't.
What do you
fix
mean?
it
Like
at
nobody
this point.
thinks that these two people are going to end up getting married. Like nobody thinks.
Or
that
maybe
these-
they have to. Like they have to at this point in my head. I'm like,
But
you all that for
I
what?
don't think West's intentions of getting Amanda to fall for him, getting her in his bed, however it started, I don't think his intention behind that was like, I want to piss off Ciara and I want to ruin
her.
I want to ruin a friendship. I don't think that was in the back of his head. I think he
was literally
just
not
being like
caring.
No, they hid it. Like that's what I'm saying. So
yeah.
that
It's
was an intention
recklessness.
because you knew it was going to hurt people and you did it anyways. So I'm like, no, there is an intention there because it's like, I could choose to not fuck with my ex's best friend or my friend's wife, but instead you both chose to do it knowing that it's wrong and then hid it for months on end.
But there's a difference between knowing you're going to piss someone off and doing it anyways, like West. Like he doesn't care that Ciara's upset. He just cares to the extent that he's in the doghouse.
yeah.
He doesn't actually care that she's hurt. If he gave a fuck that she's hurt, he would move so differently throughout this entire season. He doesn't care.
It would have never
He only
happened.
cares
Yeah.
about how it impacts him.
I don't know. Because for me, I'm just like, at the end of the day, there's two people that they both had to have thought about in that situation and still moved forward with it. And I'm sorry, but I'm just like, again, too many people in this world. I understand, oh, she doesn't know if anyone will ever be nice to her again after Kyle. Whatever. I'm just like, it's loser behavior at the end of the day to sit there and be like, oh, my actions don't actually affect anybody until I get found out or caught about it. Like, sorry.
I was gonna say, I think like I don't think they started dating to hurt Ciara. I think they started dating and they didn't stop it
in spite of.
because they knew it was gonna hurt Ciara. So I think like
I agree, Justin.
if they cared about Ciara and like didn't want to date, like they just would have never done it.
Yeah.
It would have never been a questions asked of like
you're making a point.
engaging.
I don't think they cared. I don't think they cared.
I think hiding it though
That
was
showed
in
that you
spite of her.
cared.
Hiding it, no, because
Hiding came after the fact, right?
because
Yeah,
they knew they
sure.
would get in trouble. They knew that this
Sure.
would happen. They knew, like, as Kyle would say, I don't know how they're going to survive this. This was about them getting through it. You know, because if Ciara like magically was like, you know what, honestly, I'm over it. I don't care. God bless you guys. I don't think they've been like, oh, well, if you don't care, then we're just not going to date anymore.
Yeah.
Like if you're not pissed, then
I also don't think it was like, oh, we're two drunks in West's apartment, whatever, and they're like, you know what we should do, like to piss off Ciara, like we should make out. We
No,
should
I don't
hook
think it
up.
was that.
I think
No.
it was the morning after. They're like, oh fuck, we have people who, if they find out about this, like we're fucked. And I think it came after the fact. I don't think they did it to
I agree with
spite
that.
or hurt Ciara or hurt Kyle.
But also, aren't there
mean-
friends that are just completely off limits? Like
Well,
when
it's-
you care enough about someone, you're like, I don't even question. Like,
And I know that they're going to talk about it in the reunion in the sense of like her turning off her location and doing all
Oh
of
my
that
God.
shit. But I'm just like, again, it's you can't help who you fall for, sure, but you can help who you spend your time with.
Sure,
You don't
that
need to
part.
be reaching out to West. You don't need to be spending all your time with him. Oh my God, I have a crush. If anything, that should be more of a reason for you to want to distance yourself if you didn't want to get into anything messy.
not answer the
But
text
it's
messages.
Exciting. It's
Yeah.
fun. It's fun to sneak around. It's fun to do things behind people's backs and have your own little romantic thing that nobody's going to understand. And then guess what? It comes out because you hid it because it's not genuine.
It also was like, I mean, I'm curious what the timeline's going to come out to during the reunion, but like us finding out that it was longer than what people are saying, and even like Jesse being like, I was told it wasn't this. Like,
Kyle said from episode 1, you've spent more time with my wife than I have in the last 6 months. So that means since January 2025.
of last year. Yeah. So it's,
So, I mean, you do the math. You're choosing to spend more time with your friend's ex than you are with your friends and with your own
Did you
husband.
guys see that clip that everyone's talking about where everyone's leaving the house
Mm-hmm.
and Wes gives Amanda like a very intimate hug and kiss on the forehead?
Yep.
And then Ciara
Ciara's
walks in the
there?
scene and
Oh
then
my God.
Amanda has a almost a look of like, we just got caught of like.
So that's what we're saying, though, is like it was more than just the actual hookup where it's like this would have never happened if they clearly knew that something was weird.
Even
They
compare
felt
the
something,
hug.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Compared the hug that Amanda gave Carl, right? Where it's still long held, but very side, very like, I love you, like very brotherly, sisterly. And then compare that to the hug between her and West. You pulling your chair up next to me, hugging, massaging the hair, kissing the forehead, kissing the side of the head. Even the way that West was so comfortable grabbing Amanda while she's actually trying to calm her own husband down. I'm just like, you shouldn't be involved in this. And yet here you are. That I'm like, you cannot tell me that something more wasn't going on at that point. They may not have gotten physical, but an emotional connection was formed to where you were going to West for comfort versus your own husband.
But
that
notice
is a
how
choice.
West was coming to her to comfort her. It's always
agree.
West there with his arms open. It's always West coming up to her, protecting her, making her feel like this safe little bird that can feel like in his arms.
So then think about the fact that they've been hanging out on their own for the last 6 months before this. That I'm like, what has Amanda been going over to his apartment telling him about Kyle? And that was still your active husband that you were not separated from.
Pre-gaming the date with Mia from Southern Hospitality.
Who do you think Amanda's first call to was post conversation with Kyle about I'm staying in a hotel for the next 2 nights?
West.
I think it was
West.
Ciara.
I think it was West.
I thought it was
I want to
wrong,
know.
but-
I want to know.
I feel like it was Ciara because they had just had that conversation. And I feel like she, like, as soon as she gets in the car, she's like, oh my God, I did it. Like, what we just talked about this and I did it and this is how it went. And maybe her second call
I
was
hope
West.
Andy asked that at the reunion.
Can I ask a question further? And I'm not alleging anything, but do we think she actually went to a hotel or do we think she was spending all that time in West's apartment?
Even if she got a hotel, like I wouldn't be surprised if she called West to hang out. Like that's what I'm saying is to get my mind off of things. She wasn't calling Ciara.
She wasn't alone.
And Ciara definitely confirms that in the reunion because she was like, well, he was comforting you. She's like, what the fuck was I doing? So it's like, you were not calling me when you were calling him to go grab brunch after he had brunch with your husband. But I'm like, this is crazy talk. I'm just like, if I'm choosing to spend time with somebody who's not my husband to talk shit about my husband while I'm planning on leaving my husband, it's gonna be the guy you're moving on with, not like, and she's been with Kyle for how long and put up with all of his shit for how long?
Yeah, it's like, I think Amanda is really convincing when she's talking to Kyle, almost like, I can't believe you're accusing me of this. She's very convincing.
Yeah.
But I also think she's kind of maybe convinced herself because you're right. I mean, there's an intimacy that you see with West and her in the house that is just,
I do hope there is some acknowledgement of that. And even if they want to be like, there was nothing, but we see how it looks. Like, I just hope at the reunion there is some acknowledgement of that because
that's the only thing they can do though, is to just admit like wrong.
Which they should. I mean, at this point, yes, just that's what's so crazy. It's just like, I know it's sometimes scary to admit it, but like, just acknowledge you fucked up and you were a shitty fucking friend. And if that cost is to never be friends with Ciara again, she will regret that. But like, that is a justifiable cost for what she did to Ciara. But stop pretending that you're a victim.
Thank you.
Even though, yes, we can empathize how you got to this place, but you still did the shitty thing. You were a bad wife, like you were a bad friend. And like, to pretend that's not the case. And for West to just be like, oh, shucks, I didn't mean it, is fucking crazy. And,
Thank you.
Like,
it is crazy how he didn't say one thing that entire reunion trailer. Even when Jesse's crying and he's like, I just feel like I'm losing my friend. Silent. And maybe they edited it that way.
When Jesse was the one I think that also was like, stop lying, you guys. When like, this wasn't this sort of sex crazed, whatever. Like, it doesn't matter what it was. It's the fact that it started, it grew into something. And instead of acknowledging that or doing something about it, it's like you guys acted as if it's something that's happening to you. And then it's like, oh, well, we're going to figure this out. And that's why we've been keeping it a secret. And it's like, how long does it take you guys to figure something out? You both know that you're doing something wrong or else you wouldn't feel the need to hide it. You would have been like, hey, fuck it. Sorry, this is the love of my life or this is what we're trying to figure out. But I'm like, the idea that you guys are acting like, oh, the fact that other people are hurt. Like West is like, oh, I really found out that my actions hurt a lot of people more than I knew. And it's like, what do you fucking mean?
No, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I love how they tried to include like other things about the season in the reunion trailer? Like
For like 2 seconds.
know.
Yeah.
Girl,
But, like, we're gonna
bye.
have to sit like KJ, who's more your sister? It's like, okay, get to the shit we want to hear.
All I know is I need Andy to start this reunion being like, for the first time ever, a 5-part reunion, and I need all 4 parts.
Well, they announced 3 parts, so in my head, I'm convinced it's going to be 2 hour, 3 parts.
Oh, they better be.
It's not going to be, but
But also, like, I don't really care about the smaller, unfortunately.
Like Ben's
What?
relationship right now.
but
I'm
honestly,
not-
to that point, that's where it's like it was selfish what Wes and Amanda did because now nobody cares about everybody else's
And
experience on the show.
That's what happened at
100%.
Scandival.
Same thing with
Scandival,
Scandival. Like it
remember?
just stole the thunder of like
You got
emotional
Katie
moments.
and Tom like divorced for the first time, and then it's like nobody cares. No, we're not talking about that. But
Like,
Raquel.
Like I do care about KJ's storyline, but now we're not going to even like address it because we need to get to the.
Oh my God. When Amanda had the audacity to be like, what? So nobody's ever been in this situation before? Like she fucking ate,
No,
and then
amazing
Lindsay's
answer by
fucking
Lindsay.
clap
in
back.
high school.
Yeah, in high school. I was like, thank you.
But again, that's the part that why does Amanda keep trying to pretend?
Yeah.
That you've done nothing wrong. Why? Just own it.
Can I play devil's advocate for 2 seconds
He
and then we
doesn't
can
need
wrap? He doesn't, but like, what are Amanda and Wes supposed to do? Like, I know they messed up, but like at this reunion, they're gonna get obliterated regardless.
Get
of what were they
obliterated.
say?
They own it.
You take your beatings. You were a shitty friend. You were a shitty wife. You were a shitty friend to your
Yeah.
friend all around. They just
But,
go
like, what can
there
they
and they
say?
say this. I know. I'm sorry. It was
You're
fucked
right.
up. I'm
You're
so
right.
sorry.
I was selfish. I
I'm a
only thought
piece
of
of shit.
myself. I didn't, I thought I was caring, but I realized that, when Ciara was, whether she was opening up to Wes or opening up to Amanda, you have to be like, yes, I was incredibly selfish and I have a lot of like self-reflection to do of why I only could give a fuck about my feelings and how I was able to seem like I cared about yours when clearly I didn't. And
Yep.
I don't
See-
have answers for that right now.
It's the only way they should.
And I need to figure that shit out. But like, I don't want to be this person who clearly hurt people I thought I cared about.
But
Yep.
I'll say, kind of boring television. So
Listen, I would sit there and watch it either way, but I'm just like the idea that you guys could come there being defensive in a way as if you have a leg to stand on. You know what I mean? Where it's just like you've hurt a lot of people. Also, apologize to your 10-year viewership that you
Right.
ruined our favorite fucking show. Because I'm pissed
I
about
don't know.
that.
No, they're giving us some of the best television we have seen.
Did
on
they ruin
reality
it?
TV. I don't think they need to apologize. To
Oh
us.
no! I want an apology because I'm like, what are the fuck are the dynamics going to be next season?
The next AI allegedly response that Wes and Amanda issue is going to be to you personally.
Well, listen, I think that was one of the best intros to a new city. I'm locked in
It
in the
was.
city. I'm really excited about it. I think it's gonna be great. I really, really am excited about it. And I think this only helped that. Summer House, how they evolve, I think they would have always had questions because Kyle and Amanda, I think, and Lindsay, its biggest stars, have matured outside of going to the Hamptons every weekend.
Yeah.
Kyle will be there no matter what.
Yeah. I think that'll wrap it up. What a fun episode. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you to our guest, DeMari from Perfect Match. Obviously, we will continue to talk about all this drama. We appreciate you listening to all our episodes this week. If you haven't checked them out, we have a full lineup of interviews from the cast of Perfect Match, including Allie Luber. All you Bravo fans who saw Allie be the girlfriend of James from Vanderpump, she is now one of the stars of Perfect Match, and she is so fun to watch. So be sure to check out that interview as well. We appreciate you all listening. Do not forget to sign up for Viall Files Plus. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.